You're live?
There we go. Yeah, just when you said that, we became live. We are live,
That's funny.
ladies and gentlemen.
And gentle ladies.
Sure, why not? We'll just throw in a third one there. Welcome, everybody. This is Beyond the Horizon Session 3, if my memory serves me correct. I'm throwing myself off because we started at 0, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Session 3.
Got some awesome people here today, as per the usual. Super excited. We kind of a last minute thing that we put together, but always good when we can play. So let's see. I think we'll just start off with some brief introductions. I'll go ahead and kick it over to Brittany.
Hello, I'm Brittany. I play Jitters, the Gnomish Ranger.
All right, and that's where the every once in a while your microphone does a little, but that's right. We'll be all good. All right, next up in the order that I see it is Corey.
Alrighty. So yeah, I'll be playing Blythe Emsworth. She's a pirate. That's all I need to know. Thank you.
That's all you ever need to know about pirates. Just their names. If that is your real name. All right. Next up, it looks like we've got Dave.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dave. I'm with Dragon Eggs Benedict, and I'll be playing Davrin Zallerson today. I guess he's a human. At least most people agree that he is.
Yes, he certainly seems to have humanish qualities. So this is a very unique-looking party, to say the least. All right, and then last but not least, we've got Mark.
Hello, I'm Mark, playing Chin Kao, who is a Minotaur who thinks he's a human. In fact, he was a human at one point, but he was turned into a Minotaur by a magician or mage or some sort. Dyslexic mage. We'll leave it at that. Last session, he, for the first time, was in combat, and being the ever peaceful, gentle person that he is now dealing with the after effects of having slain his first victim.
Yes, indeed. And actually, I was thinking the easiest or maybe a different way to sort of summarize the game would be seeing it summarized from the perspective of one of the crew members. So here's my best attempt at that. Previously on Beyond the Horizon. Oi! Do you see that? The little runty Davron one? He used the water skin like a little jet, flying across the water, skipping as you like, hit the big goblin fella, and then he flew in the air, using the same jetpack, came down like a missile, hit him right in the chest. Oh yeah, the little runty one, and the crazy mushroom snorting savage what they got taken hostage for a moment, but you see, not for long. The little goblins came and they was attacking the ship and we was throwing the cannonballs, you know how it goes. But then, all of a sudden, they snatched them right off the side of the ship. And like I said, the little runty one took the jet and he went skipping across the water, took it, killed the big old goblin, skipped right on back, and that's about all she wrote. And the whole time the sky was pouring down, and the lightning was cracking, and everything was going crazy. And you see that as the camera pans out, he's explaining this to a very drunk crewmate, just like, oh, it was my day off. I didn't get to see any of that. So I don't know if there was anything major that was missed in that, but that's his recollection of it, as scatterbrained as it would be. Anybody have anything they would like to add to that?
Well, yes. She found a relic at the end, and it looked like a flintlock pistol, but it's actually a fire bolt wand. Does that have an amount of charges? I didn't get that.
The little, it was like a wand, an ornamental wand that was set into like a pistol case.
Right.
It didn't have a set number of charges, but the appraiser or the artificer said that the more that it got used, the more unstable it would get. Like if you kept, the more you would use it.
Yeah. And is that something I have to tune to?
Yeah, I think the way that stuff works in this world is that everything's got an attenuation period, but it's usually not very long, unless it's something that's kind of stubborn.
Okay.
But it's probably going to be a couple days that have passed since the start of it. So also worth pointing out that the sails they had some fire on them, and then they got put out by the water skin, fire hose style. But in the process of doing that, they kind of punched through the sails and tore the mainsail to pieces. So you guys are kind of limping along a little bit at this point. Let's see. I'm trying to think.
I got a gold elven chain as well towards the end of the session, and I don't. The appraiser tried looking at it, but they couldn't figure out where it was from, or any magical effects it might have. So we're still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah. And I think I'd left that up to you to decide.
Yes,
exactly.
and I have not figured out yet, but Chen will analyze it, and we'll figure it out from there the next time he gets a chance. So
I really like the cannonballs. The transforming cannonballs that turn into whatever animal you think of.
Yeah, instead of having traditional cannonballs, they were these. You would basically drop them overboard. They would land, and then they would turn into whatever you were thinking of. And then after a few minutes, they would glow red hot and then explode. So
I think Chen appreciated that a little bit more than regular cannonballs.
Yeah.
They're way cool.
Let's see. All right. I think that's the gist of everything. All right. So, to set the scene, this is, you see the Admiralty, this large fleet of ironclad ships with dark steam billowing out from these tall, jagged smokestacks, approaching the island of the Mycenids. And you see a tall, pallid, ropey-looking man take a giant step off of this plank that kind of, trying to think about the ramp that kind of falls into over the water into the sand, and he steps off, and you can see that he's wearing the uniform of an admiral. He's got dozens of medals and pins jangling off the front of his uniform, and he's got the traditional three-corner hat with this huge plumage sticking out of it. And he's followed immediately by a small squadron of soldiers who, seeing the footprints in the sand, begin to advance towards the caves. As they approach the caves, they hear a voice saying, "Lay down your weapons. This is a peaceful place." Ignoring this, they press forward. They enter into the chamber of the Mycenid, seeing the Mycenid sovereign and his allegiance. The sovereign looks at this man for a moment, and he says, "So it is time then." The man steps forward and says, "I am Admiral Marius. I am pursuing the miscreants who have defied death through a false article of acquisition. These are wanted criminals of the highest order, and Her Majesty's Admiralty will not rest until they are found." The sovereign says, "This information is not mine to give, but I do offer the present and the future to those who would exchange stories with me." And he stretches out his hand, and the man hesitantly starts to take it. His guards reaching for these large blunderbusses at their hip, and he says, "No. No, it's fine." And you see he touches the Mycen, and his eyes kind of glaze over, and he just stares into the distance, and as tears start to stream down his face. So that's the way it has to be. And the Mycen says, "Present or future?" "Future." And again, his eyes cloud over, and the tears come even more. And he jumps back. And he says, "I know where they're going. And I know what's going to happen now." And he reaches back into his pack and pulls out a torch. And he lights it, and his men follow suit. "Burn them. All of them." And he drops the torch and leaves the room as it begins to catch a blaze like dry kindling, just walls of fire licking at the cave walls. And then the sovereign staring back at him as the flames engulf, making no noise, saying, "So it begins, so it ends." And then he just closes his eyes and lets the flames overtake his body. As we see the fire billowing from the mouth of the cave, Admiral Marius emerges, takes a long stride forward, and orders his men to make way to the boat. Without another word leaving his mouth, silently. And we cut now. It's been a couple of days since the Goblins had tried to attack the boat. There hasn't been any sign of a counterattack. What few remained I can't remember. Did you guys leave any goblins alive out of mercy, or were they all killed in some way?
Davrin burned their ship, but he kind of just let them do whatever they wanted while their ship was burning. The idea wasn't to murder them, but to isolate them and make them start from scratch.
Yeah.
All of the ones that Blythe's ship were gone. Yes, they expired.
Yeah.
Okay. So there hasn't been any sign of them. You get the impression from this and from Anna that maybe it was just an isolated thing that had happened. Oh, really? I'm on my wrong account again. That's fine. I'll just take it off and put it up on menu one. I've got two.
I just thought you wanted heads up on that.
Yeah, I gotta change it. It defaults to my old account, but that's fine. Where was I? It's been a few days to give you guys some respite, some time to kind of fall back into your normal routines, to kind of get some food, get some water, try to help repair the sails as best you can. But all this whole time, in the back of your mind, you can't help but remember the sight of the fleet, the Admiralty fleet, approaching on the horizon the days before when he fled them off the Mycenae Island. And, well, I guess I should say, Davrin, what are you up to? It's about high noon. The storm has kind of brought the temperature down, but it's still pretty warm. But today there's not a cloud in the sky. There's just kind of a nice salty smell in the air. You can even hear a few distant seagulls crying.
Davrin, he's sitting in his little space that he has for himself, whether it's a room or like even a bed. He would be sitting there staring at his wooden box, trying to remember what that word means to him and where he's heard it before, but he can't quite get it. Unless I have too many eggs, unless I have not enough chickens, unless I have all the rabbits. No, that's not it. That's not it. And then he picks up the water skin and he looks at it, and then he takes a really long whiff of it. And what he's doing is he's using his detect, or his divine sensibility, to see if it is either Fey or Fiend in origin.
Okay, so you're sniffing the water to try and detect if it's...
Yeah, I'm seeing that the object that I'm holding is fiendish or Fey in origin. And at the same time, I would sense anything within 30 feet that is either of those things as well.
And this is like a scent-based
Well,
thing?
it's...
Or is it more like you kind of get a feeling in the back of your head that...
Well, in the PHB, it defines it as it's usually holy versus unholy, but it says holy things ring like heavenly angels in your ears, whereas evil things give a rank stench off of them. So I guess it's just like all five senses based, but the idea is I would know whether something was either Fey or Fiend in origin. I'm choosing to use smell because I think that makes the most sense in this context. But
You take a big whiff, and it smells like water. There's not a whole lot of there's definitely no smell, no foulness, but there's also no inherent pristine. Like it smells like a fresh spring. So maybe just a hint of a hint of freshness versus foulness.
Okay.
But this is not a familiar smell if you're trying to detect Fey or Fiend.
Okay. He wouldn't even really know what those were, so it's just kind of fun to cast that up on him. So he is going to walk out of his room and walk up to above decks and just see who's milling about. She said it's like high noon, so probably not. It's probably fairly busy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll ask you, Davrin, who do you see, and then we'll defer it to them.
I'm gonna say he passes Jitters. He's gonna walk, and Jitters is inside the ship because I wouldn't assume that she would be outside because that just makes it worse. So he's actually gonna approach her, and he's gonna walk up to her and say, hey, "Are you doing all right?"
I'm doing better. Out of character, it was Blythe that gave me the stuff to put in my mouth to help with the nausea, right?
I believe it was actually Davrin who.
Oh no, it was me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gave
Gavin
her.
patted her on the back. That's all he did.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I gave her a whatever.
And that was the game I wasn't here for.
Right.
I'm doing better. Blythe gave me this stuff that helps me not be sick so much.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Just let me know if you need anything, okay? I'm gonna go up
Thank
above
you.
decks.
Okay.
There's a bag.
So, Jitters, you're what are you up to as Davrin makes his way up the steps?
Would there be anywhere in the ship that she could try and practice her archery at, or is that not really a logical thing?
You could probably during the day when there's nobody sleeping, you could probably set up some barrels and try to shoot lengthwise down the bottom, where the crew would normally sleep. But it's kind of lulling a little bit. Like it's not a stationary target. Maybe that's even your intention.
Yeah. So yeah, she can be practicing her archery, and if Chen's around or anything, she could be trying to help him because he missed a lot in the last battle.
I don't know, Chen. Why are you there?
I'm sorry, I was looking something up.
Are you below decks with Jitters?
No, he is not below decks.
Okay. But she would have offered to try and help Chen with archery. So that's what she's doing. She's down below trying to shoot barrels.
Okay. Well, Chin is physically too big to go below decks, so he's always on the at the top of the deck.
That's right.
He gets to sleep outside and have all the fun times, especially when it's raining. Okay, so you're kind of thunking away at the. How good of a shot are you, Jitters? Are you hitting your target most of the time, or how's it looking?
At the moment, now that we are level 2, I have... Hold on one second. Gotta find the sheet. I have a +7 to attack, so I'm hopefully doing pretty good.
Right, and maybe every time you draw back and loose an arrow and it finds its mark, maybe you're hearing those voices, those doubtful voices in the back of your head, like you'll never be a hero, you can't do this. Like, Jitters, Jitters. Like you're kind of working your way through it.
Pretty much.
Okay. So let's see. As that's happening, Brittany, who did you want to defer to next? I think it's either It's either Chen or Blythe, who I'm assuming they're both probably above decks at this point.
Oh, well, since I was already mentioning Chen, we can go with him.
Okay.
All right, so you just want to know what he's doing right now.
Yeah, kind of set the scene. Just
All
kind
right.
of.
I'm sorry. Chin he's kind of off in his own world. As there's several crew members are milling about, pretty active in doing their tasks. Even one's on reeling in the sails a little bit, probably. He is just staring down at his knees, like he's like just shaking his head, kind of like he's in contemplation at this point. It's almost as if he's playing back that battle in his head over and over again. He's trained. He has trained himself with archery, and he's never actually used it in battle before. And now he has actually killed someone with it. This is a big step for him, as the ever peaceful Minotaur. But he just continues shaking his head. It's like, I can't believe I did that. And he just at this point he's just trying to. He's like, no, don't think about that. Don't think about that. I must put it out of my mind. Oh, I got this from that ship. Let's see, what is it? He pulls out the gold elven chain, and he kind of just stares at it. He's like, huh. And he kind of gives off that some contemplative sounds as he's staring at this chain.
Okay. So as Chen is staring at this gleaming gold chain, Blythe, what are you up to?
Well, she's very much taken to the helm. She she figured out what this gun is, because it looks like a gun. I mean, if you show it to anybody, they would say that's a gun, not a fire wand. And she's certainly feels as if she could use it. She doesn't want to try because the person who praised it told her that it would deteriorate over time, so she only wants to use it, at needed intervals. But it's she's very much taken to wanting to pilot the ship and is giving her that permission. So she feels a lot of solace piloting the ship. It's comfortable and easy, so she doesn't have to do much. And then you also don't have to clean the deck and such if you're the pilot. So so yeah, no, that's what she's doing. But she's coming up at a time when she can maybe you know it's pretty flat, so on and so forth, and she can hear somebody shooting below deck, and she wants to go down and see what that's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. You can hear like a shunk thunk, shunk thunk.
Mm-hmm. And when she gets down there, she sees jitters, and she's nailing this target over and over and over and over again. And she's a very, I think it's so cute. She looks like a little kid to me, you know what I mean? She looks like like an 8-year-old tops, and she's got this tiny little bow, and she's I could see that she's getting much better with it, you know what I mean? Especially on the moving ship, and I commend her and I go, hey Jitter, you really seem to be hitting that target much harder than you used to. Is it the practice here on the ship that you've been doing?
Thank you. I think so. It took a while getting used to the weird way it moves and stuff, but
Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm afraid if I was to shoot at your target, I might explode it. So
that
I
probably wouldn't
do
be
not.
good.
No, yeah, I don't wanna break your little target there, sweetie. But it's much better. It's
Thank you.
and then I show her the flintlock pistol, and I go, "Have you seen this yet?
Uh-uh.
We got it. We got it when you were captured at the end, and I know that you were being taken away, but it's apparently a wand that looks like a gun,
A wand that looks like a gun.
as you can see, and she's
Wait,
kind of
what's a
like
gun?
well, it's like on a head as well. Look, it's right here. I'm showing it to you,
Oh, okay.
and you know, it's very different. And then she realizes that Jitters has no idea what she's talking about,
Nope.
and she feels a little bit uncomfortable with it, and goes, "It's all right. Hey, kill those targets dead. They're fuckers." And she kind of pats her on the head and walks back upstairs and goes back to the helm.
And you see that Anna's there at the helm now, and she's unfolding her map and saying, "Well, gentlemen and lady, we got some choices to make. Our sail's not in the best condition after our little fire extinguishing incident." And she kind of looks at Davin a little bit like she's got that look like thank you, but maybe a little too much. And she says, we've got to find a new sail. We're not going to be able to outrun the Admiralty all the way to the last stop with a sail like this. The only problem is the nearest city, they don't really have any value for magical items. They're going to want to ask for gold or favors. And I'm not sure if you guys are okay with that. They might be questionable.
I have no problem with you spending the gold. I don't know.
But she
I don't know.
says,
I don't know if Jen would have any gold. I don't have any in this character sheet.
yeah, she would say, as little gold as you have, that's about where we're at right now. We've got a cargo hold full of items, but we haven't had any buyers for a while.
So then I guess we should go sell something.
Well, that's just that. They're not particularly fond of magical items in the town of Anchor.
Okay, but what about on the way? Is there anybody we can meet up with? Is there anybody you know looking for things? I mean, you're worrying me now, Anna.
The
You're
ship,
so
partner.
resourceful.
Well, basically, without our sail, we're a little short on options because, well, they're right behind us. We could make it to a town where we could sell our items and get some gold, but I don't know how long it's going to take to fix the sail, and who knows where they might be.
Well, then I guess onward to Anchor, and we'll figure it out when we get there. We are pirates. I mean, merchants or whatever you want to call us. And she smiles. Maybe shrugs a little bit at her.
Davern kind of shifts in his seat, and then he pauses, and a vision of him brutally slaying that goblin flashes in his mind, and he says, "Favors. You said we should do favors, but what is the nature of the favors?"
They could be a lot of different things. I mean, we could do an honest day's work. It would take all day. Or we could do a dishonest hour's work.
Blake just giggles.
Chin immediately jumps on the idea of doing a day, an honest day's work. He's like, "Oh yeah, that sounds really good. That sounds really good."
We seem to be split in our decision. And she says, how about we call a vote? All in favor of an honest day's work? And she looks to see who would hold up her hand.
Davern does not raise his hand.
No,
Davern-
Blythe does not raise her hand as well.
All right. And Jitters, you would presumably have heard this and made your way up by this point too.
Oh, okay. How dishonest is dishonor?
That was my question too.
We don't need to kill anyone. We might need to borrow some things.
Oh, I like borrowing. Oh, you meant
She's gonna steal them.
borrowing.
She's gonna steal them, Davern.
From nice people or bad people?
We're gonna borrow them and never give them back, buddy.
She says,
They're just people, Jitters. They're just people.
it's not going to hurt anyone. We don't have to hurt anyone. I assure you. There's an, how do you say it? There's a vault in Anchor. It's got the gold we need. It's untraceable. No one would ask any questions. The only trick would be getting into it.
And we have a Jitters.
Are the people that own the vault? Is there a reason why there wouldn't be questions asked?
It may or may not be financing piracy against the Admiralty.
So, just kidding.
Hey, Davern, guess who the pirates are?
Whereas I'm aware that we do wrong things, and sometimes wrong things are the right things, but
That's
only when
right.
the wrong things are the right things to the wrong people, or the wrong things to the right people.
And one of the crew members behind you is like,
And for the first time, the life looks at Davern and goes, "That is the smartest thing you have said since I have known you."
Well, I didn't say it
It's-
first.
Well, you said it 6 ways, but it was distinguishedly intelligent. Are you feeling well?
I'm okay. I had a good breakfast.
Okay.
By the way, I had this really great idea. See, the other day, when I was getting stabbed by that goblin, I thought,
Uh-huh.
what if there was something to put between me and this goblin so that he didn't stab me, but he stabbed the thing instead? And I thought this is a really great idea. So then I took this, and he holds up a pot lid that he had pilfered from the kitchen, and I call it a wham whamper. And he holds it as if it was a shield, and he was excited.
Okay. And I'm very much looking at him differently at this moment, and I go, "That's your wham wham part is lovely, my friend. But we're gonna call that a shield because that's what everybody else is gonna call it.
Why would they call it that?
Because that's the word that was already chosen, Devon. And I'm
Oh.
sorry. It's not that I'm making these up because I don't want you to have your fun words. They're fun. I love them. But what they make real ones and not just this lid and ting it, twack it with my finger so it goes twing. And then and I go, I don't think that's gonna stop much. It hardly holds food in most of the time.
Well, yeah, I was gonna buy something bigger, like a really big pot lid or something.
I think they make those things, the wham
Oh.
bam bigger or whatever you
So
called it.
I didn't think of it then.
No, unfortunately,
So-
my friend.
Davern slowly sits down.
No, it's a great idea, and it's lovely for you to use. You should absolutely use one. She just says, um, yes. She says, I don't have any. Hey, Anna, do you have any shields about?
Any real shields?
Like, yeah, Devon has come to the realization that he is the person that came up with the idea of the shield, and now he needs one. And she's
Ah.
just kind of
Well, my
looks,
dear, if we
kind of rolling her eyes towards Anna that Devon can't see it.
well, if we succeed today, I will get you one myself. The best wham wham part that money can buy. In the meantime, I don't think you should tell the chef that you have that. He might get a little upset.
Or you could put it back.
Oh, please, do us all a favor and start stealing cooking utensils from the chef. Gag. He says, are any of you familiar with the art of the heist? I know
No.
you are.
And
have
my
you
and
drawn
my my eyes
paintings?
get as big as saucers, and I go, heisting. That's my father's specialty. You
Oh,
do
your
know who
father
my
painted
father
too?
is. No, heisting things. What do you?
The
And then
art of
now
the heist?
she's already becoming annoyed again with him. She goes, no, we're gonna steal things. We're gonna steal something, and a heist means you're stealing something very expensive. Isn't that correct, Anna?
Oh.
Very expensive and very sneaky-like.
Yes, we're not gonna just go in there all, willy nilly.
Well, we call that snatching.
Snatching. I like it. It sounds like almost the right word. Because snatching something is pretty much like heisting. So, hey Chen,
Yes.
I think you should bring your human form on this one. Because if we bring a 8-foot minotaur, don't think it's gonna be, um, you know, as stealthily as we might need. Or what was that word that Davern just used?
Snatching.
Snatching. Your snatching ability. Have you ever snatched anything before?
No. I don't know what you're talking about either. I'm a human, for God's sake.
Yes, I forgot.
Davern leans into Blythe and whispers, it might be easier to snatch something if he's thumping over in another place.
I agree, Davern. He- Hey Anna,
Hmm.
can we settle something here, please?
Yes.
Do you have a mirror in the ship?
In my quarters.
Davern holds up the pot lid.
Would it come off of the wall, or is it?
Yeah. She said,
Uh,
with a little finagling, it'll come loose, no problem.
Because I can't handle. He has to know, and it's driving me crazy. And you do see that he's a minotaur, right? I say to her.
Davern holds up the pot lid, and it's a little shiny, and he's like, he looks at himself in it, and he looks like he's fat because it
Like
bangs again.
distorted.
So he's like, "Ugh."
And just then, when you do that, I shake my head and just make my way downstairs to Anna's quarters and see if I can find this mirror. Because yes,
Yeah,
Chen
it's,
is going to know that he's not a human being here in a few minutes. I hope.
it's one of those full length mirrors that's on a pivoting set of legs, and you can just kind of pull up on it and get it loose from the pegs and sort
Okay.
of like wobbly make your way up the
Yeah.
stairs with it. And
So I make my way up the stairs, and It's a full-length one, you said?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Okay. So, but it's still not as big as Chen. So I get like I lean it up against something on the ship, and then I get a crate that makes me tall enough that I can hold up the mirror, and it will be right up to where his face is. And I go, now Chen, I want you to do something for me. We're going to have you close your eyes and think about being a human as much as you possibly can. Okay, my friend? And then I'm going to hold this mirror up, and you're going to open your eyes, and you're going to tell me if you see a fucking human or not. And then so she stands up, she stands in the crate, and she stands in front of you, and she does that.
Okay.
And he does as you ask him to. He closes his eyes, and you do that. You get up on top of the crate with the mirror, and then you wait until you're there, and you ask him to open his eyes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so he opens his eyes, and he sees the mirror, and you see absolutely no reaction from him whatsoever for like a full minute. Like he's just staring there dumbfounded. And then
Now you do realize that is you in there after that minute goes by. I go, you do realize that's you in the mirror.
he doesn't
trick.
respond at first.
Yeah.
He's like,
It's not a trick because I looked at it and it was me in the mirror before, so it has to be you this time.
He looks at it for a minute, and then Davrin, just kind of like to break the tension, sprays him with water.
it's like, it breaks his stupor.
I'm sorry, we're too close together. It smelled the smell.
Sorry. Oh.
That breaks his tension. He suddenly lets out like this blood gurgling scream, like monster on deck! And he just like backs up, and he actually is about to tip over off the deck.
Davin grabs him and pulls him back as best he can, using a strength check of 4. So I have no help.
Yeah. Hopefully you both don't fall over. That sounds like an agility check from what's his face.
You're trying Davrin, you're trying to grab Chen to keep him from falling over, and then just as you do that, you realize he's 3 times the mass of you.
Yeah.
And you go, his arm goes flying, and you go with it, and you're like dangling by his arm over the deck of the ship.
And now he's kind of like he's off kilter. He's trying to regain his balance. So this is a dexterity check from him.
Nice.
This would be a 12.
Oh no.
So he kind of waggles his arms a little bit, like involuntarily, realizing without like, oh yeah, there's a person on my other arm. I probably shouldn't do that. You hear the wood
Creak.
kind of like. But then you finally stop. You find your center again. Davin, you've got a nice view of the ocean.
Davin is going to try to see if there's anything he can grab on that's the ship and not a person.
Okay.
And Chin.
Wait, did he end up in the water?
No, we didn't.
No, not yet.
Chin regained balance just in the nick of time, and he's no longer looking at the mirror. It's like kind of just staring off into space or whatever. He's like looking around for the monster that he just saw in the mirror. And he's like, "Where is it? It's gone."
So then all right. So now he's standing a little bit further away from me. So I walk up and I hold the mirror to him again. And I go, Chen, it's you, buddy.
Jitter's just gonna walk up beside, like, see, I'm there too, and that's you, and I tap him on the knee.
Yeah. and I go, it's you, buddy. And I hold the mirror up to him again. And I go, it's sorry.
That's impossible.
No, it's not. See, look. Now look. And then I stand next to him and I hold the mirror so he can see both of us in it. I go, look, and I wave at the mirror. I don't know why, but you are. So you're not a human.
I see that.
As this is happening, Davrin's like spider climbing over the side of the railing and kind of like does a back flop onto the deck, like.
Jitters goes over and looks over at him like, "You
Yeah.
okay?
I'm okay.
Okay."
Oh.
He's like he's a little bit whiter than he than he was a minute ago.
Well,
But yeah, Chen,
I don't know what to tell you, Chen, but it is the truth, my friend. So she kind of takes the mirror under her arm. And she goes, I think the little experiment here is over. So I'm gonna put the mirror back, but it's not a lie, Chen.
I'm going to need a moment to myself.
Okay, yeah, I can imagine.
As Chen kind of stalks off, Davrin looks up and he begins to say, "Do you remember?" Later. Later is probably a good idea for that. But about this snatching we're going to be doing at the goal, I think we should still get on with planning because, I mean, well, I think his role is going to be fairly obvious. I don't think he needs to know. I don't think he needs to hear too much about how we're going to do it, if we're going to do it. I certainly don't have a problem stealing from criminals.
Hey. And then it would step forward and say, yes, I can put the ship down for collateral and have them fix the sail so it's ready by the time we get our money. That way we don't have to spend as much time on this island. But if we don't get the money, then they'll take the ship.
Oh.
We'll get the money.
I'm counting on you.
I'm good at being quiet.
That you are. And she kind of
She's also good at being little.
well, that's good. We need the sneaky sort. Yeah. From what I've seen of this place, we'll need a few things. We're going to need someone who can pick locks or force locks open. We're going to need somebody who's pretty good at climbing. We're going to need somebody who's sneaky, and we're going to need somebody to help distract or help with the getaway.
I imagine Shin's whole existence is very distracting to people.
Yeah. Yeah, she's kind of like, yeah, we think you got that one covered there, Shin. They're, Minotaurs are not common, and they're not very well looked upon in these parts. This is.
Shin just grumbles.
Hey, now, we're all not very well looked upon in these parts. Just means
I think the only issue might be is lockpicking. Unless anybody's good at that.
well, you can always. You don't necessarily need to pick the lock. You just need to make the lock not lock.
Well, I don't know what a lock is. He looks like he kind of blinks a couple times. Valor spoke of locks, but I'm pretty sure those had monsters in them, and I don't think that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But, this Knickersnack is pretty good at making things open up.
Alright, a lock is, something that she just can't believe she has to explain this in the middle of it. And then she goes, you know how, like, when our hands were tied together and Anna saved us?
Well, yeah.
Okay, the thing they put on there, how the thing they put on there to make it, to make it so we couldn't open it, that's called a lock. And they use the key, the enclosure part.
We didn't have a word for those because I never saw those before.
Well, I'm sorry. That's a lock.
Got it.
And so you don't know how to open them, do you?
Would it open like this? And he takes the Snicker snack out and just like motions whacking the table hard with it, but then he stops himself because it's not his table.
The brute force might work, but there's a device called a key you can put in there to make it so it will open easily. Or you could know how to. Why am I trying to explain? You don't even know what a lock is. And I just look at Anna and I go, hey, dude, that room down there, you must have very cool things. Don't you have like a lockpicking kit or something? There's gotta be something that you have.
Yeah, she kind of gets this grin on her face, and she says, "Yes, what's a heist without gadgets? Come." She says,
Davin is the first in line, if not ahead of her.
Yeah. Yeah, you do that cat thing where you step in front of her and she almost falls over you. It's like, okay. Now, and then I think you've all seen this at this point, at least a little bit, the little closet door that opens into a much larger room, kind of like a TARDIS closet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just wall-to-wall racks of magical items, magic weapons, and Blythe, you actually see for the first time rows of rifles and pistols, and even a solid metal-looking what you could only imagine to be a workstation with a fire perpetually glowing in the bellows, near the bellows, and
her
as she
eyes again pop like saucers, and she goes, I need to learn how to. And she's you've never seen her speechless before, but she's definitely speechless looking at all of this equipment in this room.
There's a lot of pretties.
Can we use these things, Anna, to our advantage?
She says, "Of course. Have a look around, see what suits your fancy. I think one thing per person should do. There's no need to get greedy now."
Is there objects in open view, or is everything squirreled away?
It's kind of like it's like a big tool shed. Everything's kind of hanging on the walls, and then there's also chests, and there's shelves, and there's just racks filled with stuff.
Okay.
Pretty much anything that you can imagine. And then some.
So I apologize in advance for this, but I'm going to use Divine Sense again. I can use it 5 times a day, and this seems like a place where Davin would want to look for the smell that he smelt one time in his life.
Okay.
So he's gonna kind of like crouch down and just take it's ought to be like an unnaturally long whiff. So just it's like 30 seconds.
Unnaturally long.
Intaking air. It's because it's a supernaturally long sniff. So.
And Magda would be like, "Good thing I don't share with you." But yeah, as you do that, you kind of hit with the smell of kind of smells like a storage room would. It's got kind of a weird old dusty room smell, maybe a little bit of rotten wood, but then you start to smell something that is like unnaturally sweet smelling.
And this would be of the place that. So I'm about to break, but it's Fey in origin. The idea, because I want to be the same smell that he smelled earlier in his story.
Yeah, it absolutely. Immediately, it's like that when you catch a whiff of something and you immediately can't help but instantly think of the exact moment you've smelled it before.
Yep.
That's exactly what hits you. And I'll leave it up to you
I was going to
what
flash
it
back in
leads
just a
to.
minute.
Oh, okay.
So the smell hits his nostrils, and Davrin blinks, and for a moment everyone in the room just sees him shaking. And in his mind, we can see that Davrin is standing before this giant vortex, like of purple and green and yellow colors swirled together. And he's there, and there's several strange animals jumping into it. And he's Pablo! Pablo! And he starts looking around, he's trying to look for his friend, where the Zalor is ushering these animals into the vortex. And he runs to it this way and that way, and he can't find him. He's looking up and he's looking down, and he looks in the trees, and he's calling for Pablo. Pablo! Pablo! He can't find him. He keeps going, and then standing before him is this strange, giant, mechanical-looking creature that's at least 18 feet tall, bearing down on him, and it's just chopping trees left and right. It's just mowing this forest down, and he looks up at it and he goes, "This is your fault!" And he jumps at it and he starts to whack it with his fists, and it's not doing anything. He keeps getting, and tears are flowing in his eyes, and in the room, people could see the tears are flowing in his current face as well. And this giant beast, the last thing he sees is this giant hand of this monstrous machine just poof, knocks him, and the last thing he would see would be the tree he's flying towards. And then it's black, and he snaps back in. He's like, oh,
Are you okay?
oh, well, I guess now I'm okay. And what object smelled like that? Or could even tell?
I was going to ask you that, Dave.
Okay. He goes up, and it's a small wooden. It's like a runic object, like it's a necklace with a rune on it. And he looks at it and he goes, "What is this? Where does this come from?" He looks up and he's suddenly very serious.
I think they snatched that one from the Feywild.
Feywild. He turns it over in his hand.
We were riding through the Aether Storm, and we ran aground on the Feywild, and there it was.
He pauses. Do we know what this does?
That hasn't done anything. We grabbed it from the Feywild. It just seems to be there. But as you said, it was a wooden what now, Dave?
It's just I think it's basically a wood medallion with I'm gonna say it's in Fey or Sylvan, right? So that's what they would speak there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's got this on it.
Awesome. So
you would recognize the first word.
Hold on, Lexi. Hold on. I'm sorry. What did you say, Carl?
You would recognize the first word. It matches the one on your box.
But there's other words on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're a little bit harder to make out.
Okay. So he looks at it for a moment and he says, "I was wondering if I could look at this closer. Is that okay?"
I said
Okay.
you could each have one thing, and that's
This is my thing, and he says, and he walks out of the room looking at it.
and it's as soon as you hold it in your hand, it starts to feel warm, like it's been sitting in the sunlight. But I'll pause that. I think he's had some princess issues, so I'll go ahead and pause that moment and jump back to the group.
Hey, Anna.
Yes,
Do you have anything that can make someone invisible? Because we could give that to Chen, because then it could go from being nothing to all of a sudden Minotaur.
Minotaur-sized invisibility.
Or could you just make something to make him smaller, and then he could come down here and look himself?
Well, I have a couple of choices in that regard. We can make him invisible. I have this ring would make him look. He could polymorph for a few
Then he
hours.
could look like a human, like he wants to look like.
Yeah, it wouldn't last forever, but
Oh, yeah.
long enough for the heist at least, and then I'm sure it could recharge it.
And
So really, the choice is yours.
I don't know. What do you think, Jitters? Because he's not down here with us, so he wouldn't know.
He might be able to. He might be like listening, you know, at the.
If he's going to end up being the distraction, I just thought if he went from being invisible to Minotaur, it'd be really distracting.
You have a point. I like it. He's a Minotaur. He shouldn't be a human, anyways.
So maybe this whole conversation is happening, and he doesn't even know that you guys are deciding whether or not he gets to be human. So you just, she would come out. Anna would have this this cloak that's. It just looks like she's reaching down and grabbing nothing off of the floor, but then you realize that this cloak is almost chameleon-like, melded with the floor.
Yeah.
And she just kind of peels it off, and she says, "This ought to fit most of him."
Well, we can try. And I'll take it from her and take it upstairs and go, "Hey, Chen.
Yeah.
We came up with a concept downstairs. How do you feel about wearing this cloak?" And I put it on myself and I disappear.
Yeah, you're just a cloak.
Yeah.
He's disappearing, and he goes, "Well, be a step above what I am now."
Yeah, and then I take it back off. I only take off just my head part, so like my head kind of sticks out of it. And I go, but the idea is that Jitters came up with it actually. That maybe it could work better with our distraction, and is that you come with us and so forth, and then we have you show yourself, and then boom, there's a big Minotaur. Does that bother you?
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
He's completely like stoic, like not even like he's not showing any emotion at all. He's completely shut down.
Yeah. Okay, Chen. My Minotaur friend, and I walk downstairs.
And Shannon, it's up to you whether or not you heard this conversation about the ring and everything else too.
Nope. He didn't hear a single word of that.
Okay.
After everyone leaves, Davrin enters Chen's quarters, and he
Well,
looks
Chen doesn't
at
have a
him.
quarters. He has a deck.
Oh, it's nice. This corner of the ship.
Yeah.
And he looks up at him, you know, because it's a great height difference, and he says, "Chen, we're going to fix this. I know this hurts, and I know this is confusing, but we're going to find that dyslexic weirdo, and we're going to fix this. Yes, I know what dyslexic is. Maybe I let people think I'm a little different for a reason. Some people aren't okay with who they are, just like you, just it's not as obvious. I want you to know that we're going to fix this, and you'll be whatever you want to be. It's not right that you're not who you want to be, and everyone should be who they want to be." And he pats him on the shoulder as he walks away.
And your I'm sorry, it's an amulet, right? Like a
Yes.
necklace. It's still kind of glowing, not glowing, but it's radiating like sunlight heat.
Okay.
Like it's been set in the sun for a few hours. Like it's kind of not uncomfortably hot, but it's getting there.
Okay.
But it's kind of a nice, familiar warmth as well.
He's gonna put it on. Like,
Oh no.
that's just the way he rolls. He doesn't really. He's not very careful, so he's definitely gonna put it on. That's why he freaking
Took it, yeah.
crossed the ocean on a freaking speedboat a little bit ago.
That is true. It was very fun.
As soon as
What's
you put the put the necklace around your neck, your view, yeah, I guess that would be the right. Your way of seeing everything suddenly changes, like your vision changes.
Well,
You're still where you are, but it's like you can see colors that you didn't know existed,
whoa.
and you can kind of see like the magical auras around things a little bit, just very faintly, and you can kind of see everyone's bodies, like auras around everyone's bodies, and essentially you have true sight.
Oh, that's cool.
Gavin looks at him and he's like, reminds me a little bit of Whiffleberries. It feels a little bit easier to control.
Did you put it on in the presence of Chin?
Oh yeah, he's on the deck. He may be like 6 paces from you and then just put it on. And now he's like
Okay.
looking around like,
Yeah, if he looks around at Chin, you'll actually see 2 different auras of completely different color around Chin.
Yep. You'll see,
awesome.
One
you'll see,
of pure bright blue, and the other one of like a dark red.
and you can see that the as the auras overlap, there's like a purple haze that's like intermingled between the two. Almost like the strands of energy are bound together.
He goes back to Chen and he says, I see you. And then there's like a flash of purple light coming from his eyes when he says that, just like a whoosh. And then he doesn't want to bother Chen too much because he knows that Chen is feeling a little emotional right now. So he's going to walk away and kind of just like look out at the horizon, but then remember that he's in the middle of planning something, so he scampers off.
Yeah.
I'll be okay.
All right. I think we still have Jitters and Blythe to.
Would Jitters be able to find like enchanted arrows or something? Like I don't know what all is supposed to be down there, and I don't have like a list of magic items that I could try and pull from.
Well, it's basically whatever you can think of, as long as it's not like a +5 whatever thing.
Adamantine armor that Jitters can magically wear. Oh.
Yeah.
There you go. The Quiver of Ithonia is really cool.
What?
The Quiver of Ithonia. It makes it so you can carry way more stuff. Way more.
Yeah,
That's cool.
there's magical arrows, there's magical quivers, there's a whole host of different things.
The thing that Blythe sees is that there's a couple of bags hanging over there on the wall. And she looks inside both bags, and the one she just feels like she can just stick her arm in forever. But the other one looks like it might have teeth in it.
Yeah, for sure.
And she looks back at Anna and goes, "Is this a devouring bag?"
That's a good name for it.
Yeah, it's a bag. If you put stuff inside of it, it would eat it, and so and so, right? Like, it's. My father told me of these once before. We went on search for one for far too long, and we never found it. But is this a bag of devouring? Because if it is, I feel like for my father's honor, I almost need to have it. It's quite valuable.
I'll tell you this: we were using it like a regular bag, and that sword never came back.
Yeah. It was wow. But then she's looking at that wall of guns and just goes, "That's a goal, Anna. That's a goal. Now that I have this wand, I don't know how to. I don't know much about guns yet, and I know that you fire them and such. So I would I would very much like to look into that later in life. But I think this bag, there's something about it. And if you're gonna let me have a bag of devouring, I'll be very 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 grateful. um, so yes, it's she's gonna pick up the bag and go, I think I choose this.
We pick up the bag, and it goes.
Yeah. But so it looks like it's okay, cool. That's what I choose.
So just keep it away from me, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, it, she just keeps looking. So Jitters, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. And she's looking around, and she goes, I think, and she sees just off in the corner. There's this very small bow in the corner, and I go, this looks about your size, doesn't it?
Kinda.
Do you like it? I don't know
Like,
what it
is
does. I was just trying to help.
like, do you have like an actual bow in mind, or?
um,
'Cause I ran and got my DMG, so.
Well, I mean, it's up to you. We can do something in the DMG, or we can totally make an item from scratch, because that's what a lot of this is about, is making items. And I actually made an item that I hope we'll run into soon.
that's cool.
Mark knows about it. Tasha's terrible tome.
Oh,
But terrible is spelled Tearable.
It's awesome.
You have to rip pages out of it to make it work.
So, what was the bag that Blythe got?
I procured a bag of devouring. Now
Oh,
you could get a bag of holding that was sitting right next to it, and I hold it up and I go, look, there's a bag of holding here.
Oh, that's tempting. I was
You
also
know,
looking at Bag of Tricks, because I feel like that would be right up Jitter's alley.
that I was also saying, and then right here and I tip it over, and all these little balls fall on the ground. Now I didn't do anything to make them cast, so you know what I mean. But it's like it looks. This one's strange. It's smaller too. Look, Jitters.
Ooh. Gray tan or rust, or should I try and roll for it?
I guess 1d3 would be it, right?
I don't have a D3. I have a D4.
No, roll a d6 and cut it in half. So one is 2 or one. Yeah.
1. So gray.
It's not the coolest one, but that's alright. Yeah, so there's
Sorry.
yeah, so there's 3 fuzzy objects that I knocked over, and we put them back in the bag, and you can read how if you have a DMG, you can read how that works. But
Yep.
no, that's really neat as well. There's all these crazy things in here, but I don't think we should go crazy yet, though. That's the thing about it. I don't want to take some like crazy weapon or something like that. It's just, we're level 2. You know what I
The other
mean?
kind of pipes up and it's like, also, aren't these our income? We're kind of wearing our income right now.
Yeah, just a little. If you take really valuable stuff, then you can't sell it later.
Yes, but
But
it makes us better equipped, Davin. You know what that word means?
I think I got it.
It makes us better. right?
Yes. And as he's like, he has to take the necklace off and enter this room because it's just too ridiculously distracting.
Yeah.
All the magic items in this room. So you can see at first he's trying to pay attention to you, but it's like trying to pay attention to someone in the middle, if they were suspended in air during a fireworks storm.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, the bag of devouring has like tentacles coming out of it that no one else can see, and like
It's like, okay, this room and this amulet don't mix. But yes, I think this is good. I think we have the items that we need. We didn't get anything for the door though, or whatever we're going to unlock, or break lock, or jim jam, or whatever we're going to do.
Oh yeah, that was supposed to be a thing.
That was kind of the reason we're here.
Well, yeah.
Could we put the bag
instantly-
of devouring around the lock?
Well, it would take a whole day for it to go away if it was the only thing in the bag. Yeah. Inanimate objects that are stored in a bag, you know, it's a third the size of a bag of holding, but that doesn't matter. And then, yeah, one object a day gets put into another plane of existence. That the DM gets to choose the time and place.
oh nice.
But the cooler part is with like the animate objects. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it can pull things in, strength checks, kind of fun stuff, and then it eats it. All kinds of fun stuff. I'm gonna try to see what all kinds of things I can put inside this bag now. As Devin says that, Anna does look over and go, do you have like an insta key, or I don't even know where that word came from. Do you have a key that would work on almost any door or lock?
Well, it's more of a tumbler lock, if I recall correctly. You know, the kind you spin.
Oh.
Those are probably pretty hard to just thump open.
Yeah, I mean, the only real... It's probably have to use a lot of brute force or magical force, or I guess find someone who knows the combination. But
Might not be a bad idea. Well, why don't we take to land and go and look around.
Indeed. We should definitely take to anchor. Oh, they do love their puns. I will arrange for them to start working the sail, and you four can scout ahead and see what presents itself. Case the joint, as they say.
Do we
I
know where the
understand.
joint is?
Well, it's pretty hard to miss the vault at anchor. It's at the top of the highest peak on the island.
Okay.
Interesting. So, we hit land, or are we going to take Devon's new speedboat?
Speed.
That was fun last time.
That was
Yes.
certainly interesting.
Well, it'd certainly be. If you want to make landfall before we make it to the docks, you're more than welcome to do whatever it is you did to the boat
But you
last
said-
time.
Didn't you say that magical items are kind of frowned upon? Wouldn't arriving in one be kind of a little...
Oh.
to keep it low key, right?
Yeah, you got a point there, buddy.
Are they frowned upon, or are they just not valued?
It's I mean, we're still I mean, the Admiralty is right there. So I mean, you know, they do come here pretty frequently to make sure nothing nothing out of sorts is being.
Well, I understand, but is it illegal to possess a magic item, or is it
Oh
just
yes,
in the entire town of Anchor?
the entire world. Well, the world
Well,
that the Admiralty owns, anyway.
yes. Okay, okay. So this is an Admiralty, blah, 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 I can't say that word right. Admiralty, owned town. I guess that's something we're gonna have to ask.
This is
to make sure.
within the jurisdiction of the Admiralty, absolutely.
Hmm.
I have a question. I just had a really great idea, but I need some fancy clothes. I don't need magic clothes, just fancy clothes. Do you have anything that might fit me?
It might not fit perfectly, but I think we have something. Might be a little outdated, but and it
What's
would
an
be
idea for how we're gonna? How did you say to case the joint? Yes.
So yes, what is your idea, Devin?
I'm going to pose as a. What's a lot of money?
Rich.
I'm going to pose as a rich person.
oh god.
Okay, and
sleeping
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to case the joint per se?
I'm going to say I want to store something very valuable and important.
Oh, and then you're going to end up with the keys.
That's the idea.
Oh, very, very, very good idea. Are you gonna do that by yourself?
Well, I guess it would be good to have an entourage. I mean, yeah, I guess that's the right word. I know someone used it. Entourage? Antrage. An antrage. That's right.
Antrage.
That's got to be it. If I had an antrage of people behind me, it would make me look more important. The only guy I know that had a lot of money had an antrage of people behind him.
And I look at Chen, who's far smarter than I am, and I go, is he trying to say entourage?
I think he is.
Okay. I kind of like the word entourage. I think that's a funny one there. Devin, thank you. And
I do too.
Okay.
we could hide the biggest part, and me and Jitters could certainly be security.
Minotaur for security actually might work pretty good.
Well,
Chin is already hidden behind with the cloak. He's already hiding himself because he's.
This much
right.
doesn't want to be.
He doesn't want to be seen anyway.
There's about this much of your hooves that are sticking out from like the ground.
Oh no.
Bend your knees.
Yeah, if he bends his knees, can he completely hide himself?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's a little
if he would
uncomfortable.
do that, then
It's hard to walk. You got to kind of like duck walk.
yeah, he's duck walking right now, and like every now and then you can kind of see like a little slit open, and then one of his eyes just peeks out.
Okay, so I have this picture in my mind of Davern getting dressed up in like a foppish, like a dress, like a shirt, like a bright red shirt with like huge ruffles in the front of it, and then they're like combing back your hair and putting a powdered wig on you, and like somebody pokes a mole into your cheek, like
Yeah.
Dressed up.
and then I picture this like the Rule Britannia song playing as the boat is rowing. This tiny little rowboat is rowing, and you're standing there George Washington style. Dun, 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 dun. As you like coming ashore, and there's people like there's dock workers and they're just stopping what they're doing. Like,
He waves at the first person that even shows him any attention. He's like, "Never mind me. My name is Damien Twiceroy, and I've come here to store some very important things." He starts telling like every single person he sees that his name is Damien Twiceroy, and that he is here to store a very important item.
you start to tell it to a seagull and then it like flies away.
Oh my god, I'm losing it. Oh, that's so good.
One of the dock workers like stops working and gets hit with a box and falls into the lake.
So we're not trying to be sneaky then? She whispers to Blight.
Oh, the boat.
Apparently
the boat's
not.
like, the boat's like this.
Apparently not, Jitters. Because now we have Mr. Fancy Pants here.
My
Well,
pants. Thank you.
his pants are very fancy.
Yes, they are, and apparently he's gonna try to see if he can go up and get the key. If not, we'll find another party member, I think.
This should be interesting.
As you glide into the sand, you see an old man just whittling and smoking a pipe, and he looks up at you, and he's the only person that looks at you, looks right back down to his whittling, and just like, all right, then. Hey,
Oh, we landed on sand?
anchor. Name's Thessalonius the Mighty. Widowmaker,
That's
Whittler,
the mighty.
Fiddlemaker, Fiddler, Tinkerer, Soldier, Sailor, Ramble Honor.
Yeah, apparently.
You're an everythinger.
I'm a lot of things too. My name is Damien Twiceroy, and I am here to store something very important.
All right, can we take a quick break? Right there. Is that all right? You know what I mean? Like we just got here. I gotta do some bio things. I'll be back.
Yes. Basically, he'll be like, all right, then. We'll go ahead and cut there to
Hey, Carl.
uh-huh.
Did you say that we landed on land?
Yeah.
Or not land, but
like
sand?
a sandy, yeah. Like
Oh no. Oh, okay. All right then. I'm gonna go take a quick bio break.
yeah, that sounds good.
Get a drink.
We'll be back maybe 11:45.
Be right back.
Oh, yeah, right. That's 8:45 for me. Okay.
Alright. I'm back. We're just gonna have a few more minutes while everyone else gets back.
Oops. See that you're back, Mark.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Brady.
Oh man, that's too much.
That scene was ridiculous.
Oh man.
I have a feeling it's about to get more ridiculous because we landed in sand. And as you know, we leave footprints when we walk in sand.
Yeah.
And someone's completely invisible.
Oh man.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back.
Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hi.
Hi, can you hear
Can
us?
you hear me?
Do you not hear us?
I can't hear anybody.
That was weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
Hopefully he'll be back. Oop,
Huh? Oh.
there he goes. Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, that was weird, but okay.
Well, I just changed my. It happens when I unplug my headset.
Gotcha.
So now we're working off of my laptop speakers and camera, and my daughter will be rolling my dice for me. Say hi, Lexi. Hi. Pop your head in there, girl.
Oh, that's the cutest overload.
And she wanted to play, so she can roll my dice for me today.
Nice.
Whenever I want? Okay, I will let you know, girl. All right.
That sounds perfect. Let's start rolling some of them bones.
Well, they should probably start with a deception check to old Thessalonius here.
Alrighty. Lexi, did you roll a d20? Okay. So that makes my total 8.
8.
7, sorry.
I like to point out that as like we're getting out of the boat, Chan is also getting out of the boat, which means he's now leaving hoofprints in the sand.
Yeah.
He definitely would be.
Yeah. And you would see, if you've ever seen someone lie to an employee who doesn't care, that's exactly what he's like. He's got this look like, all right, then. Sure you are. What do you want?
Where would I store something of great importance?
You talking about the vault?
Sorry, Carl, I couldn't hear you.
You talking about the vault?
Yes, I am talking about the vault.
About the banker?
That sounds like what I would want. Yes, I am.
Stores valuable objects. Good as the vault. That anchor.
Yep,
One that's got 4 walls and a roof.
that would be the one. Yes.
Trot there. And he like points his thumb behind him. And you can see it sitting on top of the mountain.
Right there.
Thank you. You are mighty and wise.
Chin forgets himself and he says, "Thank you, sir."
That's a nice cloak you got there.
That's me. That was me that said that. And then he says as he saunters off, he goes, "Hi, I am Damien." He like starts talking to other people. I'm Damien Viceroy, and I'm here to store something very important. That vault is over there. Thank you. And he starts walking off.
Yeah. And it's kind of a small, like a winding, zigzagging road that leads up this hill to this establishment. And if you're saying hi to everyone, you're kind of having to go through the main
right.
street of town.
I was trying to not let that happen. Anyway, so is there like a little break where there's an alley?
Yeah, there's like side alleys, but like
Okay. So the first side alley that we come to, I kind of snatch Davrin right into the alley, and I go, so the idea, buddy, isn't that we should talk to every person in town because we're not really meant to be here.
Yes, but
Remember?
we're not us. You
But
see,
they're gonna remember that the whatever you said your name was here because he said hello to everybody.
yes, I want everyone to know that Damien Twiceroy was here and that he stole these things. It's very important.
Yeah, but we all still look like us, so they're gonna remember that we all look like we do. And be like, yeah, the little gnome girl and the pirate-looking lady were with the fancy guy that was talking to everybody.
Are there no other people that look like us ever?
I think I'm.
She looks like a person, and you look like a gnome. There's other gnomes. As long as this guy.
But I don't know how common they are here.
I don't know what do you think? What do you,
Quietly. Unless I had some secret stuff. That wasn't what I had planned.
is Anna with us?
no, she's negotiating the
Oh, the sales.
yeah.
Yeah.
As you guys are talking, a head pops up. It's like a teenage boy's head like pops around the alley and goes, "Damien Twiceroy?
That's me.
The Damien Twiceroy?
Of course.
Oh man, you're so radical."
What? Who is Damien Twiceroy, young man?
This guy.
I know, but he's just Damien to me. So who do you think he is?
Only the most famous logger and manufacturer on the entire planet.
Oh, yes, that's certainly him.
That is.
Remember, little
He
boy.
wiped out the Latrobe Grove, man. It's like gone now. He's the man.
Yeah, Mr. Damien. You're the man.
Yes, I am. Now don't forget, kid. Don't do drugs.
Okay. All right, Damien, we're gonna go onward, and I kind of usher him along like I'm his security. Bye, young man. You have a nice day.
And he's sitting there like I imagine you try to like shake his hand, but you don't quite know how to shake a hand properly,
Yep.
and he
I
just sits
offer
there.
him my hand like a princess.
And he shakes it like it's a lever, like he grabs your hand and pulls it down and pulls it up. And it's like he just kind of stares at his hand. He's like, "Don't do drugs." He talked to me. He told me not to do drugs. As you're leaving, you can see he's just sitting there like, I'm never gonna wash this hand again.
Okay, buddy. You have fun with that.
Good luck, Damien.
I don't need it. He saunters off towards the thing, being a little less conspicuous, but still presenting himself as a very rich man, whirling through town. And if anyone asks him who he is, he bursts into his spiel about how he is Damien Twiceroy, and I'm here to store something very important.
So, is that a real person?
Apparently.
So we're gonna end up framing a real person? Is that the plan?
Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, what did you just do?
What I meant to do.
Do you know who this person is?
Yes, I don't like him very much. I'm Damien Twiceroy. I'm here to store something very important. Don't forget you saw me. As he keeps walking.
Okay. And I just keep walking as his thing. As his security. How long does it take for us to get up there? Apparently we are going to do the full tour.
Yeah, I mean, you guys you're not really hoofing it super fast. You know, you have a little bit of time to get there, especially if Davrin's, prostrating around trying to pretend like he's important.
Damien tried twice, Roy.
Yes.
Hey, boys.
Yeah?
Are we just scouting, or are we actually storing things?
I think we're gonna be stealing things there.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, there was quotation marks around storing.
Yeah.
People were apparently paying attention to us.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting.
Okay, we don't even know how much we need.
We will just take a lot.
Should have done the bag of holding.
And
Yeah, we're not putting it in my bag. I'll tell you that. Hey, actually, if we just put a whole bunch of coins in there, it would only take one to a different dimension every day. So we could put a good amount in this bag. It's an inanimate object.
But does it work like a bag of holding, or is it just like a normal bag?
No, yes, but no. Yeah, we can have the bag of Devouring little story. This bag appears to be an ordinary sack most of the time. You know what I mean? It looks like a bag of holding. So, but any substance or animal or vegetable in nature is subject to swallowing if thrust into the bag. The bag of Devouring is that right? I'm reading stuff to the internet. Let me make sure this is right. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Yeah, it sounds right, but I just don't want to be incorrect.
Hey, Carl.
Uh-huh.
While we're going up to the vault, does Chin have to be making any sneaking rolls to make sure that he's not bumping into anybody on the way up?
Yeah, maybe like a dexterity check just to make sure that you don't, because it's a relatively busy road. It's early afternoon now and people are out and about, but maybe see if you can kind of make sure as you're getting closer to this, there's less people. But
all right. I can do stealth then. I'm not really skilled in stealth. It's the same as the dex check, so.
All right, so I have the bag of devouring now.
None of us can do it.
This bag superficially resembles a bag of holding, but is an feeding orifice for a gigantic extra-dimensional creature. Turning the bag inside out closes the orifice. The extra-dimensional creature attached to the bag can sense whenever is placed inside the bag. Animal or vegetable matter placed wholly in the bag is devoured and lost forever. When when part of a living creature is placed in the bag, as happens when somebody reaches inside of it, there's a 50% chance that the creature is pulled inside the bag. And the creature inside the bag can use its action to try to escape with a successful DC 15 strength check. Another creature can use one of its actions to reach into the bag and try to pull out a creature, but doing so on a successful DC 20 strength check. Provided it isn't pulled inside the bag first. Any creature that starts inside the bag on any turn is devoured and its body is destroyed. Inanimate can be stored inside the bag, but like I said, one of the objects gets taken to a different plane of existence that you come up with. If the bag is pierced or torn, or it is destroyed, and anything within it is transferred to a random location on the astral plane.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
yeah. If you get annoyed with it, you can destroy it.
Well, not to mention that I'm probably not going to entirely follow the rules as written on it, because I think it's a little bit more of an animalistic bag.
Uh-huh.
So we probably shouldn't actually put anything in it.
Well, that's alive. Anything that's alive doesn't go in here. They're jitters. And
So if we put coins in it, it's fine?
Yeah.
Oh. But is it still like bigger on the inside, or?
It's a lot bigger than what this bag looks like.
Okay.
And as you guys
don't we
are,
have to reach inside to get it back out, and then it could eat us?
I hope we can skin it so that it at least likes me, so it doesn't want to eat me. Is that something we can put in within the not inside the rules as written? Can I at least go in the, you know what I mean? Like,
it'll develop a kinship towards you, most likely.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that idea. I like the idea of training it, feeding it a little bit, and then
and then we'll see if it likes me. If it likes me, then I can keep it. If not, then we'll see what happens.
As you guys are discussing the bags, you see a cart to the right of you, like a merchant's cart, just kind of go cuckoo, as if by no ordinary means. And you hear Shen go ah, and like he clap a hand over his face. And the merchant kind of looks back and goes, "What was that?"
Sorry, I bumped into it. And I scurry off.
But you're there, and I'm here, and my cat's behind me.
Already gone.
I've got so many questions. And he just kind of looks sad,
I just kept walking. I didn't have anything to do with this conversation.
He looks at his cart.
Jitters just wants people to think she's strong.
He looks at his cart and he's like, "Well, no, didn't leave a mark. I mean," and he's just kind of like, "But she was here, and I was there." He's trying to figure it out as he walks away. As you guys make your way up this hill, you get closer to the right to the entrance of this vault, and you can see flanked on the other side of it are these gargoyle like statues that kind of animate to life as you get closer. And when they speak simultaneously. So it almost sounds like they're twice as loud, but they're just speaking.
It's in stereo.
Speaking in stereo. And they go, who goes there.
Creepy.
I am Damien Twiceroy, and I'm here to store something very important.
And they kind of creak their head to one side and they go, don't you already have something very important here, sir?
Yes, and I would like to check on that too.
Indeed. What is the password, Mr. Triceroy? And they kind of lean in like,
Yeah, what is the password, Mr. Triceroy?
Lautrip.
I'm going to roll a D100. Give me a number between 1 and 100, Dave.
72.
51. I'm sorry, you must be mistaken. What is the password, Mr. Twiceroy?
It's been a long time. I'm going to have to check with my records.
Okay. We'll be here.
That's not good.
He walks off confidently still, but a little bit ticked. And so he's going to have to, he settles down for a minute outside, like they pull into that side alley again. He goes, I didn't know he already was here. Although it would make sense that he was.
Do we need a new password, or do we need the password to make a new deposit?
I don't
See,
know.
so.
Seems like they want a password to get in anyway.
Yeah, they're not going to let us go past them without the password or some force.
And that would probably draw a lot of attention.
Yeah, of course it's a
Yeah,
little bit.
that'd be a distraction. Or we could leave Chen out here and we could go in with the invisibility cape.
Only one of us can go in that way.
Not if it almost covers all of Chen.
The only thing is now they're gonna like if we did that, they would see any passerbyers would see the Minotaur. So.
Well, we gotta find a safe place for the Minotaur. And then I think all three of us can get in, probably. Besides the Minotaur, sorry.
Okay, so we got a password we don't know in order to get in. Well,
Maybe they have a way to reset the password? If it's an individual password?
I mean, yeah, it can't be like no one's ever forgotten their password. But
You might need like documents or something saying you're this person then.
yeah, some kind of proof of verification, which I obviously don't have. Although,
you do have a hatred, though, my friend.
yes, and I have a sword that's made of the stuff that he. Well, that proves I was his customer.
Who is this man, my friend?
This man burned. This is the man that destroyed my home.
Well, what is he? That young man over there was very impressed that you were him.
Well, apparently he's a very important man. I didn't know that. I just knew he had a lot of money.
Oh.
Yeah, anyone that's looked at the map before, you might remember that there was only two major houses on the map: the House Koran and the House Viceroy.
Wait, so he's said that he's the most famous, one of the second most famous people in the town?
Sounds like one of the most famous people in the world.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
going on here?
Davern wouldn't know that.
Why didn't any of us know that? Oh, because we're dumb and didn't do
You
any
never.
checks. All right.
Chin, yeah, we never.
I'm from the forest, so
Chin is from like he's holed up in the academy for most of his life, so
Yeah,
he wouldn't know either.
it's kind of like knowing about Damien Twiceroy and the House Twiceroy is kind of like knowing Bernie Madoff before he got in trouble.
Oh, so yeah, I wasn't paying attention to that.
Yeah, it's not like he's a financial big shot, but at the same time he's not like the #1 guy.
All right.
So it would make sense that he'd be like, "Who's this guy?" Like,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't see any other way out of this, there, buddy. What are you gonna do here? What were those things that we saw there?
are you asking me?
Yeah.
They were gargoyles.
They look like gargoyles, yeah.
So, but were they made out of stone or are they alive gargoyles?
They were actually like golden statues of gargoyles that seemed to be animated.
Okay. So they weren't like a gargoyle. They were a statue of a gargoyle that was talking to us.
Yes, although I think gargoyles can go from being statues to being real, if it's following any lore of gargoyles that I've ever known.
They certainly can if you say so.
Yeah.
Um,
I do have a bag that's kind of hungry, I think.
Mhm.
know about
So if it's real, if it's an animal at that point, then it can eat it. But if it's not an animal, it's just going to put it inside of it and it's just going to climb back out.
how much. See, there's really two ways in here. One is bribery, but we don't really have the means.
Any proof?
The other is, well, there's legit, which we obviously don't have. But then there's, like I said, there's bribery. We could probably bribe them in because they like money because they're guarding a vault, which means they like money. But we don't really have the means for that. And then there's, I think we could try kind of legit and just have me go up there and pretend and just be honest and say I forgot my password. But then we're probably going to have to talk to someone.
Or who would they talk to? And you don't know any of those people.
Someone that knows Damien, maybe someone that doesn't. If he's already been here storing something, I didn't plan on that. It's kind of funny. So that's a choice. We either take the risk and hope that we don't run into someone that knows him, or we just try to come in a side door. Because, like I said, I think bashing the door down on the already is a bad idea.
Well, I think we should just now know that Mr. Zallerson or whatever his name was. No, that's your name, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my name. Damien.
But Damien, I think that we've done our scouting here today, my friend. We're not going in today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys got a good look at the front of the building and a little bit of the sides and the statues, and you saw how big the gate is and how tall the walls are, and you got a good impression of what it is you were looking at.
Can I roll something? Can I roll a perception or something to make sure that we're good for tomorrow or whatever?
yeah, I was going to ask if it looks like there's any other form of security besides the gargoyles.
You could definitely be looking for that, especially if you were standing right there in front of them. Because also, Davern, were you wearing the amulet at the time?
Oh, yes, I was.
So you probably saw some things that were rather interesting, like the fact that the gargoyles seems to their auras seem to kind of trail into this gem that's embedded into the building,
Oh.
and also that the locking mechanism itself seems to have some kind of magic imbued into it.
Okay. You want me to roll anything, or?
Well, this is just something that, well, if you want to roll something,
Okay,
you want
let's.
to roll to see if you see any of the finer details.
I got an 18 perception check.
And what were you were looking for to see if there was anything else that might attack or might
Yeah,
be
any other
threat?
security measures other than the gargoyles asking for a password? Like even if there's just an obvious another lock or something.
There doesn't seem to be anyone at the vault proper. You just see the gargoyles flanking either side of it. There's no one on the walls or anything like that. There doesn't even... The vault itself is kind of small looking. And you know it's sealed tight, so the odds of there being some living thing inside of it are probably pretty low.
Okay. Do we want to like hide out and watch it for a while and see if anybody actually comes in, and maybe more than one, and see if they each have a different password, or maybe it's the same thing for everyone?
You can do that if you want.
I think someone should do that. That's invisible.
Yeah. Should
Okay,
you want me
so
to do that, or do you want to take my cloak?
Well, it'd be harder for you to hide and move around without the cloak, so...
Go ahead, try it out there, Chen.
yeah.
Okay. He'll go up to the front of the vaults and just kind of stake it out and see if there's anyone that comes by.
Okay.
And you guys said there was a side passage as well?
I think they were looking for one.
Oh, okay.
If I
He'll keep on the
remember.
lookout to see if there's a side passage into it as well.
Okay. If you're doing a perception check, or are you just kind of
Hey, Rick.
peeking around?
I'll do a perception check. 4.
Wow, that's the number that you guys get, because that's what he got as well.
Yes. The walls seem to be made out of some smooth, like almost glass-like metal, but you can't find any imperfections in it.
Okay.
Basically, you look back and you see your own reflection once again, and because of that, you're kind of like, oh, well, I guess you wouldn't if
Oh,
you were
great.
invisible.
Okay, I've got to make... No, okay, I'm invisible, okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
If he had seen his own face, he would have had to make a will check to see if he could stay inside the cloak or not.
But you do hear some approaching footsteps, and you do see a rather well-to-do looking individual stepping forward, and the gargoyles animate once again and say, "Who goes there?" And you hear a familiar voice. You hear, "All right then. My name's Thessalonius. I'm here to make a withdrawal." All right. Password. Twiddle sticks. And you hear, as the door opens. And Shen, you kind of peek your head around the door, and you see that this ridiculously ornately dressed Thessalonius steps into the vault, opens a drawer, takes out a stick, and starts whittling it.
Sorry, I was muted. Can Chin kind of slip by
No, you're fucking 8 feet tall.
You can definitely try to make a stealth roll.
Oh no, no, I'm the front door.
Are you trying to sneak in or just go around the other side?
Well, he went inside, and you said I was just peeking inside. But what if I just want to walk through and kind of see him from a little bit closer, but not actually, get right up in his face?
You'd probably still have to make a little bit of a stealth check to make sure you don't make very much noise.
Okay.
But you basically see that all he has in his in his drawers is just drawers and drawers of sticks. Like, okay. So you take a couple more steps forward, and you just see him standing there, leaving wood shavings on the floor. And when he seems sufficiently happy with the stick he's chosen, he starts to walk out, and he kind of smells the air, and he goes, "I smell something. Must be me."
Okay, so there's really no chance, there's no chance for him to be able to get anything from that venture, but at least he got a little bit of a look on the inside of the vault.
I need you to make a strength check
A strength check.
or dexterity.
17 on strength.
Okay, let me see what happens. Okay, just barely. You almost feel like you're getting pulled into the vault by some unseen force as it starts to close, but you're able to catch your ground and pull back from it, and it closes.
Chin was stronger than he thought he was.
Yeah, but then you hear these voices going, "What's that in the dirt?"
What's that in the dirt?
Yeah.
It's nothing.
You gonna say that out loud?
Yes.
Who's there?
Chin doesn't say anything. He's just completely quiet.
The statues come off of their pedestal and they're investigating near the tracks.
I'll roll stealth again.
Okay.
Here. Actually, let me just type it in the chat. I need to do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
He looks at the footprints. The one's looking away from you, and the other one seems to be looking straight at you. And his eyes start to glow, and he goes, "Invisibility cloak! Boy!" And the other one turns, and they kind of pivot in place and blocking you from, the doors behind you, and these what are they called again? Gargoyles are in front of you. "What do you think you're doing?"
So there's there's no escape. They're completely surrounding me, 180 degree.
Well, there's a little bit of a gap between either side of them, but yeah, you're kind of sandwiched in a little bit.
A little bit of a gap. Is it wide enough for him?
You can certainly try.
I don't see any other course of action.
All right.
9.
Mm-mm.
You're trying to barrel through, and one of them just grabs his arms around you and de-animate, so you're like in this golden statue is hugging you. And the other one goes, "Oh, you want to get in the vault, do you? All right." And the other one dumps you into the vault in the door.
Well,
Did
crap.
the rest of us head back, or did the rest of us head back, or are we like around the corner watching all of this?
I don't know. What did you guys do? I think you were. I mean, you had scouted it out, but I don't know if you had gone back to Anna or if you had stuck around as well.
Davern did not stick around. He wouldn't have.
I think for Chen's sake, somebody should have stuck around.
So he's inside the vault again, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Anna saw that.
Chin might as well.
No, I mean, sorry, Blaze saw that.
Chin might as well search around in the vaults and what is the surroundings like? Is there no one there? Is he just completely by himself?
Yeah, it's about twice the size of a normal bank vault.
Mm-hmm.
It's pitch black. The air is getting kind of stale.
Can't remember.
You can feel rows and rows and rows of drawers, but you can't really. You can also feel where the door mechanism is. But other than that, it's just pitch black and silent.
I can't remember if Minotaurs get like dark vision or whatever.
Even if you do, there's no light to even try to.
Oh man. So he kind of has to feel his way around everything. I can dig around in my pack and maybe, well, see if I did that, then I guess he has to take off his cloak in order to bring out like a light or something.
Well, it's not doing you much good now.
No, it doesn't seem like it. So he's going to go ahead and do that. He withdraws the cloak from his body and pulls out a stick to light with, and makes it so that he can see at least a few feet away in front of him.
Yeah. You just see rows and rows and rows of drawers. Like the safety deposit boxes at banks.
And is there? I want to investigate the surroundings a little bit and see if there's any other ways in or out of this building.
Okay.
From the inside. This is a more active check than the last time, so that's why I'm doing investigation instead of perception. And unnatural 20 on investigation.
Well, you can see all the gears and the mechanics of the back door pretty well with the torch. The floor is rock solid. The roofs are rock solid. Some of the drawers are a little bit off. They don't quite look the same as the others. They look like they've never been opened.
Okay, so he didn't find anything around him except for the actual vault. No passages is what he was looking for specifically, but those vault doors, they would draw his attention a little bit, and he would walk up to it if he can and try to see if it's locked or open it if he can.
What are you trying to open?
You said there's a couple that looked as if they've never been opened before.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to see if they're locked or if he can open them.
They do open.
Mm-hmm.
There is a set of 3 levers.
Ooh. A set of 3 levers.
And as this is going on, Blythe, you saw this happening, so I'm assuming you alerted everyone else.
Absolutely. Absolutely I did. And, you know, we come back and, you know, let them know that it's going to be pretty hairy. And we should probably get over there because Chen is inside there right now. But it's not going to help us out because he can't carry all the stuff out. So,
Has enough time passed where Davin would be unable to talk to Anna about her plan? Because I kind of wanted to know what her plan is to get in there.
She says, well, the stealthy approach didn't work too well. Subterfuge didn't work too well. Maybe brute force is the answer. We just break in and get as much as we can and get out of here as quick as we can.
Well,
Or I suppose the ship is repaired now. I put the ship down as collateral, but we could just owe them money. Rescue our friends and leave the bill to my IOU account.
well, I mean, there might be money in there. We could just pay them on our way out via dump. Just dump the gold on their doorstep and sail away.
Yeah.
So you said there was 3 levers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Chin's gonna be like sitting there going eeny, meeny, miny, mo for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Kind of like, which one do I do? And I'll tentatively pull the middle one.
Oh, good.
that's the exact one I wanted you to pull.
No, really. I just rolled to see which one would be the one that I didn't want to pull, and it was that one, so that's awesome.
Oh, yes!
You pull it, and you hear like a tick, tick, tick. The walls are moving in, like half an inch per minute. It's like...
All right. So what is it? What is the wall? What is the receding wall reveal?
Oh, it's not receding. It's coming at you. Adam.
Minotaur pancake.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I completely misunderstood you that situation. So he is stuck in the. There's 2 walls on either side of him. That's
Yes, they're slowly, very, very slowly coming towards you on either side.
I think you should push the lever back. I'm not there though. Sorry.
well. That's what Chin would think that he needs to do as already, but that probably won't actually do anything. So he's instead of pulling it back, he's just gonna pull another one.
Oh, good.
He'll pull the one closest to him.
The other drawer that you didn't open pops open, and water starts spewing out.
Awesome. Okay. He's like, screw it. And he pulls the 3rd one.
Oh, man.
Character death?
I don't know. I didn't anticipate that you were just going to pull off the letters.
The whole thing explodes.
It was fun playing with Jen.
The last drawer opens, and quippers start falling out. It's like these little piranha things start falling out, spilling out into the water.
Oh, cool.
Oh, you're fucked. Sorry.
All right. Shoot. he completely. See, I don't think it's gonna do anything. He
Yeah,
pulls.
I'm gonna defer to everyone else right now because I feel like you're gonna cause time to pass, and then you're just gonna like be in such a horrendous situation. So this is all happening simultaneously while the three of you are doing what?
Twiddling our thumbs, apparently. So did who went back to Anna then? Because I know Blythe is still there. Did anybody go back to Anna?
I was talking to you guys and I didn't realize I was muted. That sucks. Because I said some really good stuff. um, but what I was saying was, I don't even remember now. Damn it.
Oh man.
Davrin went and got Anna, but he doesn't know that the situation is dire. But since she said brute force is the best answer and it's nighttime, it's probably the best choice. So he would suggest to Anna that they go now and move quickly before it's light. And when we get there, if someone informs us what's going on, we need to move quickly.
Yeah, Jitters probably would have stayed with Blythe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, you guys are hoofing it up towards this bank, and you can see the two gargoyles standing on either side. And as they see you approaching Davrin, they're like, "Mr. Twiceroy, the password, have you remembered it yet?"
Totally.
And you can hear running water and grinding metal on the inside of the vault, and you can hear like, "Oh!"
He looks right at them and he says, "It ain't dongo till the bingo bangos is bongos." And then he attacks the gem above the door.
Okay.
At the same time, Chin is on the other side of the door, and he's like, "I've never done this before. Hopefully, this doesn't backfire." And he holds up his horns, and he charges the door.
I charge the door. All right, give me a Binlin bronze bottom strength check.
And I charged the door.
11.
Oh!
Very, very gently.
So in addition to hearing,
Can Jitters try and shoot the gem too, or do we need to roll initiative?
I think we should roll initiative.
Well, do I get first strike because I attacked him, or no?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and put you at the top, or give you a preemptive strike.
Little surpriser.
Surprise around. Alright. I suppose I should roll for them.
Well, yeah, if you want us to fight him. Or you could just let us just wail on him and then not put him in at all.
Right? Okay, so that's that for that one, and the other ones, they're gonna go right after each other. That's cool. Okay, so it looks like so far we've got Shen, and then them, and then Brittany, Jitters, Blythe, and Gargoyle 1 and Gargoyle 2. Oh wow, okay. So Chen, Davrin, Looks like Chen Davern, then both gargoyles go, and then Blythe and Jitters, if I'm doing that right.
Uh-huh.
But Stavron, you get the surprise round.
Okay. Davern used an attack on that gem above the door,
Okay.
and he rolled a 16 to hit.
So is it a range attack or?
Well, how high is the door? I thought it was just an arm's reach. Like if I reached all the way up.
You'd have to go pretty high, but you could probably like do one of those run and jump and have your hand extended all the way out type of things.
An acrobatics check.
Sure.
All right, Lex, could you roll again? It's a 14 acrobatics.
Yeah, you've got no problem. It's not super tall, so you're trying to like hit it with your sword.
Yep.
Okay.
Snicker snack.
Snicker snack.
Okay, and I'm gonna smite the gem.
Smite it, huh?
There.
Is that an actual thing?
Yeah, that's well. I'm
What
using
kind of smite are you using?
ability to smite. So, Lexi, I need you to roll this one, and this one, and this one.
Which smite are you using?
Regular.
There's no regular. There's
It's just divine smite.
oh, divine smite. Okay.
3 plus 4 plus 5 plus. That's a lot of damage. Hold on a second. 7, 11, 15, 17 damage to the gem.
Nice. You kind of catch it. You've never hit anything as hard as a gem with the sword before, or the sticker snack. But it does. It catches it and it kind of chips off a little chunk of it and cracks it a little bit. And you can see the gargoyles kind of, their statues kind of vibrate a little bit. And they seem to, for a second, kind of lose concentration. And then they shake their heads and they're like, back in it.
He looks back at his friends and is like, get that gem.
If we do that, will the door still be able to open, though?
Guess we'll
I
find
don't know. I'm with Davern. Let's go.
Yeah. So Chen, you're in this room that's rapidly shrinking.
Trying to eat you.
The room's shrinking, the water's rising, and the quippers are biting. So you can
to the gem above the door.
you can attack the quippers that are in the water, or you can just do whatever other action you'd like to try and do.
Chin is going back to where he was before he dashed at the door, and he's going to do it again, except this time it's a dash action, and I'm going to use Goring Rush, which means that he's making a melee attack with his horns on the door.
Nice.
And nope, that's an 8.
The water has gotten to be about this tall, and dashing is not an option. You try to
It's
dash,
too slow.
it's that waterlogged running that you can do, but that's about as much as you can muster now.
Okay, so that's not an option. All right. Am I able to make a strength check on the door once I get back to it?
Yeah. You can
Okay.
still try to brute force the door open. It's just running into the door is much harder because the water's rising.
10.
That is one solid door.
Yeah, he's trying as hard as he can to create a wedge between the two door panes, but that's just not an option. It doesn't look like.
This thing's built like a vault.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see. I think we're at Davern again.
Devrin is going to try the same thing. He's just going to try to hit the gem with his sword. Lexi, could you please roll that one? 21 acrobatics. Roll again.
Nice.
That's a 3 plus 6. 14 versus for the attack.
14. Momento. Yes, that just barely hits. If that's your if that's your attack roll.
That's my attack roll. I'm going to roll that one. 11 damage versus the gem.
Okay. And again, it just you're kind of chinking away at it, and it makes another little hairline fracture, and the gargoyles kind of stop for a split second and then continue with their attack, since it's now going to roll into their turn. I think they're pretty focused on you, Davern, since you're not only at the front of the group, but you're also attacking the gems. So they're kind of going to turn to you and leap on you. Wow, that's it. Let's see. What do they add? Okay. So they're trying to claw you. The first claw just kind of swishes over your head. The second set of claws rakes you across the chest for 3 slashing damage. And then the other gargoyle is also going to try and hit you with his claws. And again, the first one goes wide, and the second one finds purchase, probably kind of cutting into your shoulder a little bit. Kind of like being clawed by a wild animal, which I'm sure Davern's at least a little bit familiar with. 5 slashing damage from that attack.
But they still look golden.
Yeah, they're they're kind of looking like animated statues, animated glistening golden statues.
Right.
Actually, yeah, and then we're at Blythe.
All right. We're gonna How far am I away from the gem if I was hanging back?
You're well within range of whatever kind of. I think it would probably be like 30 feet or so.
Range isn't the problem. I was just wondering how far it was. Because I'm sharpshooter, so range doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna pull out my heavy crossbow. Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna use my new firebolt wand and shoot the the good old gem.
Okay. You're gonna shoot it with a firebolt.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just a standard ranged attack.
Oh, give me just 1 second. I'll get it.
So I believe it shoots pretty much the same way as a regular pistol. It's just shooting fire instead of.
Right. It is. The range is 120 feet. And yeah, just a spell attack. Alright, so I'll roll it up. That is. What am I going to add to that? Or is it just flat because I don't have anything else to add to it?
Probably the same as if it was a ranged attack.
Okay. So that is a 17.
Okay. So this is your first time firing this gun, if I recall.
Yeah.
So
okay. So I pull out the flintlock wand pistol gun thingy, and I take my aim and I aim the same way that I usually would with my crossbows that I'm very, very accurate with. And I, get my good sight picture, and I pull the trigger as my others have, and it does a big blast, boom, and then you can do that. Whatever you want to do for the rest.
Like it almost knocks you off your feet.
Right. And I'm not ready. We've all seen the video of the people with the gun for the first time, and yeah, I have one of those moments.
Yeah, you almost hit yourself in the face, like, and it rockets off like a Roman candle, just at this gem, and it hits it, and it erupts in like a ball of flame. And for a split second, the gargoyles are also immolated, like they're instantly on fire. And then as soon as the fire extinguishes on the gem, the gargoyles go back to normal as well. What kind of damage does that do?
That's 6.
6? Okay.
D10, roll a 6.
Nice. It's above average.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Alrighty. So the gargoyles are looking a little bit singed. Their perfect sheen is gone. Jitters.
Jitters is going to shoot at the gem with her short bow. That is hold on, math. A 25 to hit.
Okay.
You miss!
And 6 piercing damage.
Okay. So the bow actually manages to pierce through into the gem just a little bit, like at the tip of the arrow sticking out of it. And you said for 6 damage?
Yep.
The gem actually like shakes a little bit and falls.
I did it!
And Javrin, if you want to give me a dexterity check.
Yep. Hold on just a second. On my professional dice roller. Roll it up. Bro. You said it's a dexterity check? It's an 18 total.
It lands right in your hand.
Awesome.
And the gargoyles instantly lose their gold sheen, and they're in living form now. They look briefly confused, and then they look angry. Before I go back to the top of the rotation, Mark, the quippers are going to be biting at you. Or I could drop the dice.
Quippers!
Quippers. 15?
15 a hit?
Yes.
That's a hit.
No. It's basically like a swarm of piranhas for 4 piercing damage. They're like gnawing away at your legs.
Noted.
So basically what happened is you went to the barber shop and you told them not to use quippers, but they did anyway. All right, Chen. Back to you, good sir.
All right. Chen, seeing that this is not working, and the water's continuing to rise, it's now about waist level.
Yeah,
and,
that's getting there.
And he remembers seeing the gears on the walls. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Gears on the walls. And he kind of looks around and goes, the situation's getting dire. I don't have much more time. And he comes up with a brilliant idea. He pulls out an arrow and he wades through the water towards one of the a couple of the gears. He tries to stick the arrowhead in between them to try to get it to stop.
Okay.
What do I need to roll?
Mhm. Probably either strength or dex, because you're trying to jam an arrow into this moving gear.
All right, dexterity it is. 12.
So you jam the arrow in, and like the ears stop for a second, and what everybody else sees from the outside is Davrin, you're holding this gem just landed in your hands. These the gargoyles are about to jump on you, and as this is all about to happen, the door pops open, and this wave of piranha-infested water just goes over everybody. So I'm gonna need dexterity saving throws from everybody.
Good job, buddy.
Well, he did what he needed to do.
Yeah?
You said saving throw, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You're trying not to get swept away.
Alright, that's not going to work out well because I got an 11.
Okay.
I got a 24.
Alright.
She is certain that she's not going anywhere.
I rolled a 19 on that, man. That was awesome.
Looks like Davrin, which just right at the front lines, you get pushed. You get swept away. Let me check the gargoyles. See. Wow, well, that makes sense. The giant gargoyles, they just flap their wings and go up into the air as the wave goes over. Davrin and Blythe, you both get knocked off your feet by this sudden wave of water that just unexpectedly came out. Jitters, I imagine you maybe like you jump just at the right time as the wave passes, and then when you land, you find something to hold on to, and you only move a few inches.
Is there like a light pole or anything around here? I don't know what kind of levels there are, or if they have like a lamp post or something.
Yeah, there
like,
would be.
Screwed up one of those really fast.
There would be like night lanterns that are glowing with some kind of strange glowing, like not like traditional oil lanterns, but they're like these glowing rocks.
Okay.
So as the water washes away,
Wonderful.
Blythe.
There's quippers all over the place.
Yeah, Blythe, you've been knocked prone as well as Davrin, but the moment of calm that this chaos has caused is now over, and the battle commences with Davrin.
Okay, so Davrin, is he okay? How high did the gargoyles go? Just a little bit.
Yeah, just like 5 feet into the air.
So I could still stand up and then attack one?
Yeah, you could do like a running jump.
Well, he has to get up first, doesn't he?
Yeah, you'd have to stand, but that's not usually a big
I was
deal.
wondering if they're within my movement, including the stand. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I need... This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to use my minor action to cast a spell that's a minor action, stand up, and then attack one of them.
Okay.
Okay. The minor action I'm casting, Davrin closes his eyes and remembers his friend is in danger, who he hasn't seen because he got immediately splashed with this water, so he's just trying to get to his friend, and he prays, he goes, Zalor, give me the strength but I need to conquer my enemies. And then he opens his eyes again, and he looks down, and it's an interesting sight because he has the true sight, so he can see this divine energy pulse through his body, and he can see his Snicker Snack starts to slither. It moves as if it's like it's growing, and there's spines that come out of the sword as he casts divine favor on himself, which will add damage to his attacks.
Nice.
So he moves up to attack one of the gargoyles, and then my princess will roll my dice for me. For 20. Oh. Okay, that's an 11 to hit.
11 on the gargoyles. Unfortunately, not quite enough. They've got this kind of a thick, natural hide. They're a little bit easier to hit. They're a little bit harder to hit than a stationary rock.
Alright. So it just kind of like glances off of him, but he doesn't look scared. He looks fearsome. He's still holding his wham whamper. I'm not giving him an armor class bonus, but he's holding it.
Nice. I hope that lid has something written on it, like just some lettering from some soup company or something.
I think it should be made by the other company, like not the Twice Roys, but the other guys.
The Karens.
Yeah. The Karen's name on it.
All right.
I almost said it's a Rachel Ray pot lid. I almost said
that. Well, at least you didn't. At least you didn't pick the. What was that? What's the one lady that likes to use butter? The Paula Deen. Oh man. Okay. Well, the gargoyles are going to get a turn. I think they're going to split their attention. Let's see, who are they going after? Blythe, and apparently they want to go after Jitters. So, Blythe.
No, go away.
Let's see, what did they... So that's 12 and 18.
18 hits, 12 doesn't.
Okay. And that's 4 piercing damage to you, Blythe, as they sink their claw into you. Jitters, this one is trying to actually take a chunk out of you with its teeth. 17 and 21.
They both definitely hit.
Okay.
Ow!
Oh wow. Snake eyes. Awesome. 6 piercing damage.
Okay.
So this thing latched onto your shoulder and just. But that being said, Blythe, it is now your turn.
So there's one that's right next to me?
Yeah, it's basically swiping at you with its claws.
Oh. Okay.
When they're flying, they got a pretty fast movement speed.
Alright, so he swiped at me. Did he move away or no? Or is he right there in my face still?
Yeah, he's right there. Like narratively, he's like swiping at you once, and then swiping at you again. Like it's all kind of happening all at the same time.
Yeah, all at the same time. So I can't use any of these up close weapons. So I'm going to, for the first time, pull out my scimitar and stabby.
Okay.
That is a 15.
Just barely enough to hit this thing.
Nice.
As it sinks its way through its thick hide, thick leathery, like almost bat-like hide.
Okay, so that's one of these jabbers. Ooh, that's a whole 1. That's a 4 damage.
Okay.
And yeah, I would like to pick up a clipper and
Okay.
shake it in the gargoyle's face, and then stick it in my bag. Does he look interested in the fish at all?
It does kind of like it makes a face like, hmm?
Yeah.
And then when you put it back into your bag, it's like, "Arr."
Okay. Go ahead.
Let's see. Jitters?
Hey, is it still like latched onto me, or
Yeah,
did
it's
it
like
fly back up?
it's like biting at you. It's like effectively at ground level at this point.
Alright, she's going to grab her dagger and just try and stab it.
Stab it.
Stabby, stabby. Get up! 23.
You're rolling out a lot.
Yeah, she's rolling 19 often tonight.
Well, that was an 18. I've gotten 2 18s and 1 19. I'm like, sweet.
Nice.
Nice.
I only rolled a 1 for damage, so that's 4 piercing altogether.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. And it kind of lets out a "Arrgh," like it screams out in pain.
Yeah,
And this
it didn't seem to like that, huh?
This black, goopy, like tar-like blood comes out.
All right, good.
Ew.
Let's see, Chen.
Alright. For Chen's next turn, he sees that the walls are still coming in. It's like, I've got to do something about them. And he walks over back to the switches, and he flips the middle one, the one that initially started this whole mess.
Okay.
What happens?
You hear the rest of the switches kind of click, and they switch back to where they were before, and then the wall very quickly.
But the door is open. So.
Are you kidding me? I could have done that from the start.
You could have. And I think I suggested it, to tell you the truth, but I wasn't there.
Yeah,
Somebody said it wouldn't work.
Yeah. But the door's still off, right? The door's still open?
Yeah, it's open, like, he interrupted the gears, and then that caused the door to pop open, and it seems to kind of be stuck open now.
Enough for him to be able to get out?
Yeah.
Or you guys in.
Yeah. Hey Mark, you're really breaking up bad, bro.
Oh shoot. I know. I forgot to unplug it. I said I was gonna unplug it during my turns. This thing, like when it's plugged in, it produces a lot of noise.
Oh, it does. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why it does. It just does.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So you reset the switch. Was there anything else you wanted to do on your turn, Mark?
Is there anything else I can do? I guess I can try to look through any other vaults. Or
Yeah, you can try to prise open the drawers if you want to.
Yeah, he'll definitely try to do that.
All right. Just give me a straight D4 roll.
Straight D4, gotcha. 3.
You're able to rip 3 drawers open just with your hand, just like ripping it out.
All right.
And as this is happening, Davrin, Jitters is being mauled, and Blythe is being clawed to either side of you.
Davrin rushes to Jitters' aid because she seems to be having a little harder time against it. At least, well, she's hitting it, but it's hitting her too. So he runs up and he makes an attack at it, and he rolled a 21 to hit.
And that's a definite hit.
And when it hits, then the damage we have is a total of 12. So he takes the Snicker snack, and it's kind of like slithering in his hands. And he slashes across its back. And as he slashes across its back, you can see that there's a trail of flowers where he hits it. It's a very pretty attack. So he kind of...
And the gargoyle kind of lets out almost a scared shriek, as this happens to it.
Oh yeah, 4 of that was radiant, if that matters. But I didn't think of it.
I imagine then that the flowers kind of glow a little bit, at least for a moment. They don't. Doesn't seem to like it, but you don't know if it's the radiance or if it's the fact that flowers are growing out of its flesh. But it turns its attention to you. Like it drops, it lets go of Jitters, like it releases its jaw, and it's gonna try to have you for a snack, not a Snicker snack. More of a Davern snack.
More of a Davern snack.
That's a 21. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that's a hit. for 4 piercing damage as his teeth kind of sink in, kind of close to your collarbone. You actually feel the bones kind of beginning to creak under the pressure of his teeth, and the pain that's shooting through your body. It feels like you might break your collarbone. Meanwhile, the other one's going to continue to engage Blythe.
Yeah.
Blythe, you have this thing it's so angry that it can't attack you. It's like it's getting so mad that it's not an effective fighter anymore. Like it's just swinging wildly. Like, something about that Quipper, man. That thing just is not happy with you now. But
Yeah.
you're able to. Its highest roll is a 13.
Oh, lovely. So I'm gonna it's my turn now then, right?
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna attempt to grapple it by one of its arms and shove it in my bag.
Okay. So that would probably be a strength or
Athletics
the
roll.
grapple is just strength or dexterity versus its strength or dexterity. So let me see.
So I'll do dexterity. So is that acrobatics or is that just a straight dexterity?
I think it's just straight dex if you're doing like a grapple. Oh, you're gonna win.
Yeah, because I rolled an 18 plus 3, so 21.
He rolled a 5.
So yeah, so I grab his hand and I shove it in my bag. So then now there's a 50% chance that the creature will be pulled inside. How do you want to figure that out?
That bag.
Yeah, into that
Oh.
bag.
Give me an even or an odd.
I'm gonna go with odd, because so am I. Did it get devoured, or did it not?
Starting from the hand, the bag, Acme style, like Warner Brothers cartoon style, like somehow inexplicably, because it's disappearing into nowhere. Like
Yeah. It just looks like now is. Can we have it like Warner Brothers, like where the bag now has a mouth and it's just starting to eat it as it's sucking it in?
the bag rips open and the zippers in the bag are the teeth, and it like a couple of stitches pop and the mouth goes really wide and it just swallows up the rest of him in one bite.
So now he can't make a DC 15 on his turn once, and then if not, it's going to die. We'll roll the 1.
Yep.
Bye. He's devoured and lost forever.
You see the bag like someone's trying to beat up the inside of the bag, and then all of a sudden the bag just goes back to normal size. And
And I just pet it on the outside of it.
it purrs.
And I go, we gotta figure out a name for you. That's a fun little trick. And I look down at Jitters, who's not too far away from me, who's now being, not being held
I'm
any longer.
technically still up on the pole.
Oh, you're still up in the. Oh, they attacked you on the pole still? Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
so I'm probably about eye level with you.
Yeah, I just look at her and I go, that was a cool trick. You should try your little bag.
Maybe.
It's a little late now.
Yeah, it is your turn, Dennis.
But it is a little late, because we probably almost have this thing dead. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I would like to move further away from the thing, 30 feet.
Okay.
Is the one that's now on Davern, is it still technically engaged with me? Like, did it just turn around, or?
It's got its back to you.
Okay, would I be at
And
disadvantage to attack it, or?
Its wings are flopping. I think this is what they would call a sneak attack. I know you're not a rogue, but it's basically like it's not really paying much attention to you.
Okay, so would that
Yeah.
even it out if it's technically engaged with me still?
It would
Well,
still
it's-
be disadvantaged because if it's in melee range, it's still just.
Well, yeah, but if I try and shoot it with my bow, though, which is what
Yeah,
I was
that's
going
what
to
I'm
try and do.
Yeah, you're a
so
little
this-
too close to hit it with your bow. Actually, if you wanted to
Okay.
use your bow, the rule with the bow is if you're within 5 feet of it, you have disadvantage. But if you want to use your flanking to give yourself advantage to eliminate the disadvantage, then essentially it would just be a standard attack.
Okay, but if I just stabbed it with a dagger, I'd have advantage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll just do that.
Okay.
That is a 16 to hit.
16 is a hit. Yep.
And then 7 piercing damage.
Alrighty.
It's probably more logical to do anyway if I'm still holding onto the pole.
You catch it right at the wing where the wing meets the body, and your knife is sharp enough to the point where it like slices through the sinew and the musculature, and the wing actually comes off, and the gargoyle spirals down to the ground.
Nice.
And in the meantime, the flowers are continuing to bloom all over its body as it kind of splats into the ground rather
Lovely.
grossly.
Is it dead?
If it isn't, it's very close to it. Actually, no. I would give Shen or Davern the opportunity to do a coup de grace.
Or we could try to talk to it.
That's it.
Ken is too far away to do that.
before, like, he has something he wants to say.
No, I think he said Shen was too far away to get there and say something.
Okay. Well, if Davern gets a chance to, he gets down and he holds his sword, which is still swirling, still moving around, at least for about a minute. And then he holds it up to its neck, and he says, "If you don't want to die right now, you'll tell me which one is my box."
And he kind of points a shaky clawed hand at Vault 613.
Davern will then use. He wants to knock him out, so if he has to use a lay on hands to prevent him from dying, he will. And then he says, "Leave him alone." And
You could just do an unarmed strike because those only do 1 damage.
okay, cool. And I just pop him out with my pot lid.
Yeah. Boom.
And it's like, these people did nothing wrong except guard their treasure, so we will leave them be. If the other one is... Oh, so the other one got eaten, so we can't even say that.
Yeah, the other one's in my bag.
Maybe you just now realize that. You're like, we're going to leave these guys alive, and you see the bag, like, burping at the last second.
Well, I guess sometimes a wolf needs his rabbit. He shrugs. And then he... Yes, Lex, that's what I said. And then he walks into the vault straight up to that box that was indicated and opens it.
Okay. There's the entire box, which is probably about this big and this tall, is stacks and stacks of paper money. Royal currency.
Yeah.
Kind
Jenny could have even opened it for you. Like as soon as we all heard 613 from the...
Yeah, I make my way towards the vault.
And it's this is the kind of
What is
currency
paper? What is paper made out of at this time? Still tree matter?
Yeah, but it's not like Litroth paper. It's just standard money paper. Like it's a kind of paper that the tree that bears it is only available for the purpose of making money.
Okay. But it's still nonetheless a vegetable type thing.
Technically, yeah.
So I shouldn't put it in the bag, or the bag will eat it.
Derek comes down and goes to the vault with everybody else, for the record.
Yeah, because it says either animal or vegetable. So if it's a tree, is a vegetable, right? Like it's a.
Yeah, you could definitely make the argument that
You see what I'm saying?
You can eat paper. It's just not ideal.
No,
same-
obviously. But
The same
I'm
way that
saying
you wouldn't put a leather jerkin into a bag of devouring because it's technically made from animal.
right. Wonderful. If it was coins, I think I could put it in there. But I don't think we should put paper in there because I think it might eat it.
We still got adventures packs, and it is just paper.
Yeah, it is just paper.
So
Is it a lot of paper?
It's a pretty large amount. It's if you had to guess, it's a lot. No,
I'm gonna look around the vault. Are there any other vaults that look just like this one that might have more money in them?
Oh, there's tons of drawers.
Yeah, there's,
I'm just gonna start ripping drawers open if they're open.
there are three drawers that I opened earlier and I never got to check what was
The other
inside.
two?
I don't believe.
Oh, okay. So there's two that are open. What are in those two?
Well, there's actually three that's open.
Well, you opened the one that had the levers and switches. I'm sorry.
Yeah, in my last turn, I opened three more.
Oh, okay.
What was in them, Carl?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you want me to roll for it?
Well, I know that one of them is going to have what looks like a wine bottle, but it seems to have some kind of magical concoction inside of it.
Okay.
A wine bottle with a magical concoction. Well, he
And
pulls it out.
it seems to say Drought of Life.
He pulls it out and says, "You might like this, wife."
Yeah, thanks. We'll have to give this to Anna.
As
Oh.
we're taking items out of drawers, Davern is writing on notes. Actually, you know what? It's just kind of stupid, but he's going to do it. He's writing on the money that he's taken. He's writing on the back of it, and he's writing, "You've been robbed by Damien Viceroy." And he puts one note in each thing we're stealing from.
So you're really gonna frame him.
Oh my
It's a little too obvious, but that's kind of the way he rolls. So.
And he stole his own money too.
He
Yep.
stole his own money.
And like one of them, you start to write Davrin accidentally, so you like scribbled it out.
It was the
We gotta
one.
take that one with us.
It was the one that he was putting in his in Dwight's vault.
Well, yeah, the one left over.
But yeah, one of the drawers had that potion in it. It's called the Drought of Life. It's essentially a large version of the healing potion.
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice.
So you
How
can.
many-
It has
how many
it has
uses?
more than one use.
Nice.
Okay. I'll give that back to Anna, and and maybe thanks for the bag.
Mm-hmm.
The other drawer, I can't resist. It has a book. A
Yes.
thin leather book. That's
Dash that right
it
up.
has nothing written on it except for a crude drawing of a laughing woman's face.
Oh.
The language, the words or the cryptograms that are used on and in this book are alien to every single one of you. They don't look like anything you've ever seen. It doesn't look like Sylvan or Giant or Infernal. It looks like something that's deliberately maybe just one person's own little secret language.
Yet another piece of information for Chin to decipher.
Does it look magical to you, Davin?
Davern takes a whiff, like he always does.
If mischief had a smell, this reeks of it. It's absolutely but not good, not bad, just mischief. Like,
So it smells like like dinosaur lasagna.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It smells like a fresh baked dinosaur lasagna.
Lovely.
I don't know how else to describe it. It just smells like mischief.
I can completely understand.
But there's nothing about it that you would think is evil. It's just whoever made this is definitely a trickster.
Okay. So who takes that book?
Obviously, Chin.
And
kind of
Chen, for your record keeping, this is Tasha's terrible tome,
Oh man.
with the terrible being spelled as if it was able to be torn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And metagame-wise, I know what that is, but I can't know it's in character.
Oh, it's fun.
It's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It basically looks like a picture book with perforated pages.
We should probably hurry up and get out of here before somebody notices us.
Yeah. So did we take all the money that we can get and the things that we found?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to actually be able to hoof it out of there, probably the easiest thing to do would be to literally just grab Damien's thing,
Funds?
maybe dump a few extra things in it, and run for it.
Okay.
Did we
Sounds
see
right.
what was in the that last vault that I opened? Or is there not enough time to look?
That's up to you. Everybody else is hoofing it out right now.
Oh.
I mean, we could have just dumped everything in like one and then ran for it.
Well, I still have the cloak, so I'll spend a little extra time just looking at that last one.
Davern came scratching the word in Sylvan that's on his medallion and his box. He scratches it on the bottom of Damien's safe. Just real quick, real rough.
Like,
Probably while everyone else is looting and stuff after he's taken the money. He scratches
yeah.
it on the bottom and then whips it out.
Cool.
Nice. Let's say for now that it's that there was a locked box within the locked box, like a wooden box with a
Oh, okay.
with a key with like a heavy lock around it.
All right, and Chen will just pick that up, and we'll have to figure that out at some other time.
Yeah.
Locked. Sorry.
Alrighty. So, you guys are hoofing it back to the boat.
And nobody notices.
The commotion's kind of gathering a little bit of a crowd, but they let you pass, even though you're, unless, and I hate to put this idea in your head, unless you're using the invisibility cloak to make the loot invisible.
Chen was actually putting the invisibility cloak back around himself.
Yeah, so it's pretty obvious what's going on if you're just running down the street as you are. You actually hear somebody go
Can we make stealth checks?
with incredible disadvantage. You can.
Yeah. Jitters is going to attempt a stealth.
Devin, so disguised as Damien, does not make a stealth check. In fact, he would like to aid everyone else's stealth checks by making a scene as he sprints toward his ship.
Jitters rolled a 1 and a 6.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just trying to hoof it. Yeah, let's get out of here.
You hear, hey guys, there's a bank robbery going on. And like,
No, there's not.
yeah, bank robbery. Well, the alarm, like the little brrr, that little noise just starts going off, like, and everyone's just like, but you don't expect you expect that someone's gonna try and stop you, but what's essentially happening is the whole town is like cheering you on like you're running a marathon.
What?
And it's like, yeah, you go show them.
Okay. And we run and we get to the dock and I give a little bow, and then we run the ship. I don't know. That's weird.
Are we leaving the rowboat?
Part of the scene that Damien is making, is he is throwing money. Just a little
Not
bit.
too much.
That's
even-
why.
Not even 10% of what he stole, but he's just like throwing it, and that's probably why people are cheering.
Yeah.
And he's trying to make it known that it's Damien Twiceroy. He's like he can't stop telling
Just
everyone.
can't stop himself.
And just as you guys round the corner up the gangplank onto your ship, and you make your way, you cut the ropes and you start to disembark.
Did we pay the guy?
Well, but I assumed you guys just dropped it off, dropped a vague amount of cash at his feet, and
Well, I assume Anna knew how much money, or Anna knew how much money we owed him, so I'd just leave that much.
yeah,
Plus a little bit of a tip for discretion, and then off we go.
yeah. He, you take a few stacks of cash and hand it to him, and take the rest of it, and
He seems to be happy.
yeah, make your way onto the boat.
Okay. How much money did we get?
It's quite a bit. Let's see. It's approximately 100,000 farthings, which is the unit of measurement they use here.
Oh my.
And splitting it equitably amongst the crew and everyone else, everybody would get about, probably about 10 or let's say 12,000 each.
Would that be gold pieces in this time period?
Yeah, I mean they're different because it's paper money, so it doesn't spend everywhere the same way that gold does. But yeah, it's essentially. I would separate it from gold. I wouldn't add it to the gold, but.
Oh,
How much
sorry.
did you say it was? Sorry.
I'm sorry.
How much did you say it was?
12,000.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So you all kind of stash the money away in the closet area, and the wind starts to pick up. The new sail starts to unfurl, and I think the best way to end this session is to jump forward a couple of days. You see a
Hey
man.
guys, are we wrapping soon? Cause
Yeah, right. Like
Yeah,
right
we're
now.
wrapping right
okay,
now.
sorry, I got distracted by roommates.
See, this is monologue.
This is a couple of. You see a stately manor, and you see the back of Damien Twiceroy's head as he soaks in a tub. The servants are pouring hot water into it, and you see a butler kind of come into the room and so, Master Twiceroy, the message from the High Constabulary. You are summoned to the High Courts for crimes most foul against the Bank of Anchor. Apparently you have stolen a very large sum of money from yourself, and you are to answer for it. Then you see a hand just reach and grab for a cup of tea,
And
and
alright, can we pan out? Does this man look anything like Devin?
no. First of all, he has no hair.
Okay.
Spitting image.
He has no hair, and as he sets the tea down, you just hear him go, Salerson. I don't know how, but I know it was him. He's the only one who would do something like this to me. Fetch my boat. I'd like to go hunting.
Bring it on, Baldy.
We're getting everyone to come after us.
Yeah,
Everybody
We're
hates
so good at making friends, guys. It's amazing.
right? Oh, but you are friends with the Mycenids. Oh.
You're now dead.
Next thing you know, I'm gonna be getting that wizard to come after us.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, I expect to see him. I almost posed as him, but then I thought she might be too sensitive, so I went after my own spell.
That's awesome.
Good job, guys. That was a good session.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of fun.
One last like after credit scene. You just see a teenage boy crying in the alley going, Damien! I looked up to you!
Are you sure he didn't just catch money and thought he was getting
Yeah,
paid
right.
by his favorite person ever?
Yeah. Can he be holding one of the dollar bills like he has one and he's just so angry that he has it? I mean, I don't know.
He's like shaking it. He's got
Yeah.
one of the ones that says Damien Viceroy has stolen your money.
Yeah.
No, even better. He's holding it and he's like, I got an autograph.
Even better.
Oh man.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh man. So fun. All right. Well, I'm gonna hit the little button to stop the broadcast because.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks.
We'll see you next time. Thanks, anybody who watches in the future. We appreciate it. All right. Have a good one, guys.